From the hot air balloon capital of the world, this is Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. Direct from the rooftop studio at Balloon Fiesta Park in Albuquerque, New Mexico, here are the hosts of Balloon Fiesta Live, Glen Moyer and Art Lloyd Jr.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning and welcome to the 49th Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. We are Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. It is Hump Day.
Wednesday,
midweek day. We're halfway through, or whatever you want to call it. I'm Glen Moyer, joined as always by my colleague and executive producer, Art Lloyd Jr. And Art, let's be honest, the question on everybody's mind right now is weather.
It is.
Whether or not we'll go, whether or not it's going to rain,
whether
or not it's going to be a good or a bad day, weather.
Weather. There are exactly lots and lots of questions about that. We have no official word yet as to what's going to happen with the flights. Pilots briefing is just about to start, and I know that they've got some thoughts and they're looking at things as well as we are. In fact, Steve, can we just bring up the radar map right off the bat? And let's just show folks what we're talking about. We have a weather station right here on the rooftop studio with us, and here is the radar for the area where we are. And you can see that the storms are tracking up the west of Albuquerque, actually. But there is that little piece that's going to pick. It's right there. In fact, we're getting just a little.
You can see I've got my iPad closed, but on the cover of my iPad, you can see perhaps.
It doesn't even qualify as drizzle.
No,
it's not
just
even
kind
that.
Of spitting rain, or kind of a spritz, if you will. But it may catch us, so we'll have to wait and see. The one thing we do know is Wednesday, of course, being midweek, being a mass ascension, our Flight of the Nations Day, we have our Dawn Patrol show, and they already have made the decision that they will do a static display, meaning they will inflate, stand up, and stay on the ground. They're not going to fly this morning.
They'll go through the whole show routine. They just won't
fly. Right, exactly.
Exactly. And we'll be joining Pilots Briefing shortly when we get to the weather to see what kind of things are happening there as well. But as we speak, the Dawn Patrol folks were about to start their fans, and so we'll keep an eye on that as we go through the day. So we will continue to watch what is going on weather-wise and bring that to you. And as you said, today would have been the Flight of Nations.
Yes.
It would have been an abbreviated one.
Indeed.
As we've talked all week.
Because we know a lot of international pilots and crew who are normally here, excuse me, that frog keeps coming back, are not. Because
and it's not even Special Shapes Day.
It's not even Special Shapes Day, yeah. There will be frogs, by the way. But, yeah, a lot of our international visitors are not here because of COVID travel restrictions, of course.
But if we are able to stand up and even fly, we should see and recognize the countries of Mexico, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Canada, Brazil, Switzerland, France, and, of course, the U.S. as well. So those are the countries that are represented here today and that hopefully will be able to get off in a Flight of the Nations ascent this morning as part of our Mass Ascension, midweek Mass Ascension.
One of the countries that is not represented, that normally is, would be Ireland with Malcolm White and Pauline Baker. They are not here, but they did ask me if I could say a quick shout out for their local crew who have usually and have loyally served them every year that they've been here because they're here from Fiesta. So, Mike, a quick shout out to Mike and Becca Griego. Becca apparently... let's see, they were both at Fiesta on Monday and just last night. My goodness. Becca gave birth to a beautiful girl, Celine. So
congratulations.
Congratulations. They're just two of countless numbers of Albuquerque area residents who get involved in Fiesta by crewing for our visiting balloon pilots. So shout out to Mike and Becca Griegos.
You're right. There are a lot of folks in Albuquerque and in the state and actually other places as well literally take their vacation to come out here and crew for pilots, to work as a volunteer or what we call navigators here. So there are lots of people who just plan their life all year long about Balloon Fiesta.
Well, I'm not sure they plan their life, but
Well, they plan this portion
this
of it.
portion of this 2 weeks.
Yeah, the last part of September, the early part of October, to be able to take care of that. And as you just mentioned for Malcolm and Pauline, there are local crew that somewhere along the line got hooked up with an international pilot and sometimes even a Texas pilot that they might have gotten hooked up with.
Well, it is a whole other country. Now, you went there. I didn't. So
that's true.
Just for the record.
That's my bingo card.
Bingo. There you go.
And they do. They join up again every single year here at Balloon Fiesta and renew those friendships and work and things like that. And
Yeah.
we run into people all the time when you start talking about Balloon Fiesta. Oh, I crew for so-and-so. Every year when they come in, I go out and crew for that.
Yeah.
And it really is a pretty widespread phenomenon that folks get involved with that way. So I see, Switzerland is actually tuning in on our YouTube feed as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Matt Montoya, I'm looking at our Facebook feed asking if there's a weather delay today. Not yet. We don't have any official word. It is kind of spritzing a bit of dampness here this morning, and we do have rain out to the west. But we still don't have any official word other than the fact that, like we said, Dawn Patrol show is going to stand up but not fly this morning. At least that is their current plan. So we, of course, as soon as we know if there's any sort of weather issue, we will let you know. Wolfsburg, Germany, checking in.
Right.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Just kind of scanning through here to see Michael Sawyer. Good morning, Mike. How are you? Augusta, Georgia. Somebody watching from Louise is watching from Texas. Good for you. Northeastern Pennsylvania. And let's see, Saint Jean-sur-Richelieu in Quebec, Canada.
Nice to have them on board as well.
Catalonia, Spain. Lots of international folks tuning in this morning. Geneva, Ohio. Cool. Cool.
Okay, so we're actually starting to hear Cold Pack and Ready already from some of the Dawn Patrol team.
So are you doing Dawn Patrol? It's hump day, you know. Or am I doing it? Who's doing it?
I don't know who's doing it.
I don't have the iPad up and running because it's raining. But
I don't either.
Well,
I guess I have to get it out.
One of us does. I've done 2 already. I think it's your turn.
That's the role of the the lead announcer to take care of that.
Now wait a minute. I think, we have a long-standing tradition here that I remember when you came to me and asked if you could do the Dawn Patrol show, and I graciously allowed you to join into my territory and said, of course you can.
See?
See, I'm being gracious. That's what it's all about. I'm not being lazy. I'm being gracious.
Yeah. Potato.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, let me get it here.
Yeah. I mean, you need the practice, come on.
Yeah. Okay, if you think so. Yep.
Keith Berry, by the way, our mutual friend, is still on his way here. They were listening in St. Louis, I think it was yesterday, and this morning he says, Keith and I are listening in our drive. Still here. They just left Amarillo, so they're only a few hours away. So drive safely, you guys, and we look forward to seeing you when you get here.
Be working with the special shapes tomorrow. The good news is this rain, last I knew, and we'll check with Brad Tiemeyer later and maybe even hear about it at Pilot's Briefing here shortly. But the idea is this was just kind of be going through literally this morning.
Yeah.
It's not much to worry about. We're not going to get the rain like we got last Thursday and Friday before Balloon Fiesta started.
In fact, everything I've seen says Thursday and Friday are going to be perfect.
Perfect days for that, yes.
We may have a little wind issues to deal with on Saturday and Sunday, more in the evenings, I think, than the mornings, they're saying.
That's what they're saying.
But, yeah, this is one of those just temporary things. If the system had moved through earlier, it would have gone through overnight, and we'd be fine this morning. It's just that it's slow moving, and we may get caught with a little bit of it this morning. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, and as you can see, our Dawn Patrol show team is actually still inflating, and we're getting a word that many of them are now cold packed and ready to move forward. It's not so much this light rain that is the issue, is that would be lightning and thunder, which there doesn't seem to be out there. But if we get the balloon wet, we don't want to really pack it up wet. And of course, you never know when you're going to get something built into there or wind gusts off of it. So we are very cautious in how we go ahead and fly anytime we have this kind of weather. We also get low clouds, and we can't fly in clouds. We have to be miles away from the clouds, so all of that comes into play.
The moisture issue is mildew. I mean, you're familiar, anyone's familiar with, if you take a bath towel after you've used it and it's damp and you toss it over in the corner somewhere and you leave it, well, it's going to mildew, and that will destroy the balloon fabric. And so dampness.
Yeah, destroying a towel is one thing, but destroying
a $35,000, $40,000 balloon, something else. But the issue is that you need to get it out and dry it as quickly as you can. And so if it's a setup where, you may get a little damp today, but then by this afternoon it'll be nice, and tomorrow, et cetera, and you can get the balloons back out, cold inflate them, dry them out. It's not really a big issue. The problem comes, and I ruined the top third of a balloon when I was working at Thunder and Cold, because I was at an event down in Louisiana, got caught in some rain, the balloon got soaked, and it rained steadily for 3, 4, 5 days, and we could never, the best we could do was inflate it in the factory, put a cold air blower blowing on it in the factory and turning the fabric, but eventually we had to replace like the top third of the balloon because we just couldn't get it outdoors and officially, and really effectively really dry it out. So that is an issue, but because of we know that this is a light system and it's moving through, we don't expect it to dump a lot of rain. It's not a big issue, but it's a concern. And any pilot who, for whatever reason, feels uncomfortable with the possibility of moisture or the clouds or anything else, the pilot in command always has the final decision. We can make a decision we're going to fly, but every individual pilot can always say, nope, I'm not going today, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and get Dawn Patrol started here.
Okay, go ahead.
For us. So we are going to begin this morning with the 25th edition of the Dawn Patrol Show, brought to you by Route 66 Casino Hotel and RV Park. The Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta is by far the most highly recognized ballooning event in the world. It began 49 years ago to celebrate the 50th anniversary of radio station 770 KOB, now known as KKOB. That little gathering of 13 balloons has blossomed into what you'll be enjoying today. As we've been hearing already, the pilots are reporting in that they are cold-packed and ready. That means that each aircraft is full of cold air forced into the balloon by a gasoline-powered fan, and that the pilot is at his or her burner ready to turn on the fire and hot inflate. Once our Dawn Patrol team balloons are standing upright, the balloons will perform something of a mini glow, lighting up their burners and giving you a great photo op. Soon they'll be, they won't be rising this morning. We're just going to have our glow here on the field as well. So stand by for the stand-up of the Route 66 Casino Hotel and RV Park Dawn Show Patrol. And here we go, Balloon Fiesta fans. It's time to pay close attention. The pilots are now going to begin those flicker burns to add heat to their aircraft. Bursts of propane, fueled flames are illuminating these Dawn Patrol balloons spread across row M of Balloon Fiesta Park. With more heat, the balloons will rise together. Dawn Patrol team, let's get them up. Go hot. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Route 66 Casino Hotel and RV Park Dawn Patrol Show. And now, Dawn Patrol fans, it's time for you to join the show. Please give us your vocal cords and good energy to help count down the Dawn Patrol for our first all burn of the morning. We begin at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All burn Dawn Patrol. The Dawn Patrol pilots would like the crowd to be a little louder next time. So let's break script and throw in another all burn, see if we can wake everyone up. Another all burn, please. Dawn Patrol crowd, help us count it down. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all burn. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take the moment to introduce the Dawn Patrol team to you this morning. Flying Dawn 2 from Frisco, Texas, and the Lighthouse Business Information Systems balloon, it's our team leader, Scott Vesley. In Dawn 3 from Concord, New Hampshire, flying Polar Dawn, it's Rick Jones. Dawn 4 from El Paso, Texas, flying Hubba Bubba, it's Andy Wayner. Dawn 5 from Safford, Arizona, flying Floating Oasis, is Greg Lindsay. Flying Dawn 6 from Holiday, Utah, in D3, it's Tim Taylor. Dawn 7 from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, flying Spirits Rainbow. Welcome, Michael Scott. Dawn 8 is Brian Carlson from Topeka, Kansas, in Dreams Fulfilled. Dawn 9 is Matt Grote from Rio Rancho, New Mexico, in Jester Unwinds. Dawn 10 is Dale Ruth from Albuquerque, New Mexico, flying Dawn's Delight. And Dawn 12 this morning, Peanuts Forever from Littleton, Massachusetts, it's Ron Thornton. Dawn Patrol, let's get a flicker burn in, please. A flicker burn in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flicker burn. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to let the Dawn Patrol continue their show for you this morning while we go ahead and pick up our weather briefing from pilots, the Pilots Briefing Tower and weather. Let's go there.
50, relative humidity 77%. Barometric pressure is 30.26 inches of mercury. They were reporting light rain with a broken ceiling at 9,000 feet, and the wind was 310 at 5 knots. So for the TAFs, let's jump to Sunport first. The Sunport TAF, I will say, is I think a little daunting, and I think it's a lot more. It sounds a lot worse than I think what we'll actually see. So they're calling for winds out of the north, 360 at 7 knots, visibility greater than 6 miles, vicinity showers, and broken ceiling at 8,000 feet. And they're calling for that between now and noon, with a temporary condition between now and 10 a.m. of variable winds of 15 to gusts to 25 knots. 6 mile visibility, rain showers, and overcast 6,000. But like I said, I'm believing that this rain shower activity is going to work its way out here in the next hour, and we won't see those impacts from the rain showers that are in the temporary group. At Double Eagle there, they are forecasting winds of 340 at 6 knots, visibility greater than 6 miles, vicinity showers scattered 5,000, overcast 700, with a tempo for 6 miles visibility, rain, and overcast 5,000, and that temporary group runs from now to 10 a.m. Note they don't have any wind issue or restrictions on that tempo group up at Double Eagle. But like I said, I think that shower activity is really going to work its way out here over the next hour, and we're going to be looking at improving conditions. So that's kind of the thing. Here you can see is the broad scale area, and if you look up to our north and west, which I can't seem to drag, but anyway, the point is that there's not a huge difference temperature-wise between us and Santa Fe. We've had that cloud cover through the overnight and even a little bit of light sprinkle activity. So given that that's the case, I don't expect a true box to form. However, with what we've seen in the profiler data, which I wanted to show here, is that winds have been trending more out of the northwest. My expectation is that over the next few hours, we're going to be looking at light and variable conditions, and then the winds will transition to a southerly direction and go from south to north towards probably that 9-10 o'clock in the morning time frame is when we'll start to see that set in across the area. So here's the profiler information. You can see that the winds in the near surface layer are very light, and so anything below about 1,500 feet should remain generally 3 knots or less, and really be light and variable. So really, I think we're going to see inconsistent direction here over the next few hours in that near surface layer. The stuff aloft actually will hold, and ironically enough, if you look at the profiler data, here's what's kind of cool. You can actually see the front kind of move through. So you see the southerly winds out here. This is how to read the flags. Basically, you read it like an arrow. So the tip of the flag here is the direction it's from, and then you read it to the arrow. So in this case here, we have south winds here, and then the front moves through and it transitions over to the west. And that's kind of what I'm expecting to see in the surface layer. We'll start to see those southerly winds develop through the morning hours and become more consistent. So like I said, it's going to be really light and variable here in the near surface layer, anything below 1,500 feet. And then above it, you should have more of that westerly wind prevailing, and that should be a bit stronger through the morning. So with that, Rob also ran a pieball, and I'll give you some of that information as well. Stand by for just a second. That one. Okay, so I will just read a few things so you can kind of get a sense of what's going on. This pieball was as of, let's see, about half an hour, 45 minutes ago. At 100 feet, wind was 020 at 2 knots, 020 at 2. 500 feet was 045 at 3 knots, 045 at 3.
So we've been listening to the Chief Meteorologist for Balloon Fiesta, Brad Meyer, tell the pilots this morning what the weather conditions are. And you heard that, as we've been talking about, there are rain showers in the area, light rain showers, that they continue to move out. In fact, he thinks everything will be gone within the next hour or so.
Yeah.
And so they've not announced the decision on whether we're going to go or not. So that'll be a little bit towards the end of pilot's briefing. We'll catch back in there. I just got a couple of bigger drops all of a sudden here, though.
Well, my iPad, the cover on it is showing the same thing, a little more of a sprinkle than a spritz now, I suppose you could say, but still not too bad.
So we have our Dawn Patrol show team balloons standing up out there.
Yes.
I understand our Krispy Kreme glow balloons are actually on a little bit of a hold as well. So our Dawn Patrol show team is going to stand up and continue to give us a little bit of a balloon glow here. Hey, Dawn Patrol, can you give us an all burn, please? How about an all burn from Dawn Patrol in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all burn. There's a great crowd down around there.
There is a good crowd down there.
That's great. This, of course, is the Route 66 Casino Hotel and RV Park Dawn Patrol Show. And if you've just joined us or are wondering what's going on, well, we have a little bit of moisture falling from the sky, very, very, very light. So our Dawn Patrol team has opted to stay on the ground this morning. and not fly off. Even worse for them, it's already tough to fly in the dark when you can't see the ground, you can't see what's going on around you. So trying to get up when we know that there's clouds and other things up there as well, that you just don't want to be up there if you can't see what's going on.
Well, and we don't know what could develop, not saying
That's
that
the other
anything
piece.
will,
That's
but
the
you
other
could
piece.
find yourself in the sky and some sort of a cell develop in this very light rain, and suddenly you're in a more dire situation, and you don't want that in the dark.
Not at all.
It's one thing to
No.
deal with it when you can see what you're doing,
Right.
but when it's dark, you just don't. So the obvious safe decision this morning is keep the balloons on the ground. Let's do a static display. In some ways, that's more exciting for some of the crowd because they can stay down there around the balloons up close and personal and get great photos and enjoy a longer show than having the balloons get up in the sky and fly away. So, there's pluses and minuses to any decision you make, but safety always is our number one concern, and it's just not right to put balloons, we're not sure we're going to fly all of the mass ascension this morning, so why would you risk putting balloons in the dark when you aren't sure what you're going to do when the sun comes up yet?
Absolutely. Just caught the tail end of something there. How about a flicker burn, Dawn Patrol? Can we get a flicker burn this time? Flicker in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flicker burn. Should have warned the crowd to put their cameras in their phones on video mode. For that.
Yeah, that's always a great piece of video, especially if your camera does slow-mo.
Oh, yeah.
It's really kind of cool. Yeah, I'm feeling a few bigger drops now. Glad I snuck my jacket on real quick because it's more waterproof than my sweatshirt is. And it has that nice big hood that I haven't yet activated, but I might.
Well, let's see, it was 49 degrees a couple of mornings ago. Yesterday it was like 51. Today when I got up, it was actually 61 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, okay, so the clouds are still here, keeping the heat of yesterday in. And then looked at the radar and saw things going through, and it's starting to cool off a little bit. Maybe the clouds are breaking up, still too dark to see. Although it looks like, no, it's a plane up there. I thought I was actually maybe seeing some stars up there still.
Wishful thinking, I think. Hey, thanks, Tony Saxton, for saying hello this morning, and we're glad that you're watching at home. Appreciate your kind words. Yeah, I don't have the jacket on because it's cold. I put it on because it's more waterproof than the things that I'm wearing. Than the fleeces and the sweatshirts that we're wearing. So the jacket will repel the water a little bit better, the moisture. Not that, it isn't so much rain, obviously. I mean, we're sitting in the weather.
We're sitting out here in it, yeah.
If it were pouring rain, we'd be under the roof somewhere.
Yep.
Instead of on top of the roof. Instead of being up on the roof, we would be under the roof. Or a roof.
Yeah. Hey, so yesterday on Facebook, there was a memory that popped up in my Facebook feed of us being here on the roof before Balloon Fiesta Live. I don't know if you got a chance to see that. It was just the two of us sitting here with a table,
table and chairs and
a
that's
couple
of microphones. Yeah.
Nothing else up here. And then, of course, we got some great pictures yesterday from one of our official photographers. Victor Banta happened to fly over us and posted some pictures of what it looks like now.
Today, yeah.
And, of course, I was posting that as a reply to the memory, and I no sooner hit post and I get a notification that Ted Mays has posted something. He also flew over yesterday morning, got almost the same shot that Victor did. So we have two great shots of the rooftop studio from balloons flying over yesterday. And, of course, we missed Ted flying over, so we didn't give him any love, so he was feeling hurt.
No.
So.
Well, I can remember, I don't have the photographs at hand to prove it, but I mean, I can remember back in the early days when it was myself and Tom Rutherford, and we didn't do Balloon Fiesta Live. We were just announcing over the PA system.
Up on top of scaffolding.
Up on top of scaffolding behind the stage, typically. And we worked alone. We didn't work as a team. I did the weekends by myself, and then Tom did the weekdays. And I was able to fly as a pilot back in those days. And I was up there virtually alone. I mean, there were no balloon meisters. I had no radio phone communications. It was just me and a microphone, and they'd say start, and and if something were to happen, then I think there was a landline telephone that maybe they could call me on. It was
no cell phones then either.
No, it was prior to cell phones, and then when cell phones did come out, Fiesta would issue cell phones to a lot of the staff with special numbers. And I asked for one of those one time so that I could keep in touch with it, and they wouldn't give me one. So it was like, I just keep him in a corner, in the dark and feed him, what. And, it's changed a great deal over the years. We're now, of course, a very vital part of the communications, and we have all this technology and television up here, and we're streaming around the world. And, it wasn't quite that way back in the day. It was, me and a stick mic and a table and a chair, and that was it.
So our Dawn Patrol show is going to call it, some of them are going to start calling it quits this morning. So let's thank our Dawn Patrol team this morning for their great show. Of course, the Dawn Patrol team brought to you by Route 66 Casino Hotel and RV Park. They will be back on Saturday morning and again on Sunday morning for the Dawn Patrol show. Dawn Patrol team, thank you very much. Have a great morning. So we'll cut those guys loose just in case things are, well, as we talked about, pilots need to protect their equipment. They need to be safe, and they are the ones that are making the decision every single time, whether they're going to stand their balloon up, whether they're going to fly it, not stand it up. They are the PIC, the pilot in command. Yeah. And actually here on the set, we're actually starting to take some.
I was going to say, we're covering up our the cameras, and actually I'm kind of tossing a ball in the air. I've got my iPhone sitting out and it's sprinkling on it, and I have my iPad, the cover on it. So I'm not sure, do I risk moisture in the iPad or in the iPhone? The iPad or the iPhone? And the iPhone at least has a screen protector on it, and the iPad's got a cover on it. But I think I'm actually going to put it back in the briefcase for now.
Yeah, I just put my iPad back in there. I have my phone under the little table here, and I've kind of mostly closed the lid on my computer so I can't see as much as what's going on. But again, we are now just sitting waiting to hear officially what our game plan is. We've been watching the weather radar move through and out, and my best guess on the radar, and this is me, I am not a meteorologist, but it appears we're going to get a little bit. In fact, it's right over us right now as we look at that map. So we're about to get a little bit, and then I think it's going to be gone. That Brad T. Meyer is talking about, it should be gone definitely within an hour. You can see it's actually pretty warm, 59 degrees.
Yeah, 59 degrees.
And this information is literally coming from the rooftop studio.
Yep, weather station, a city-owned weather station that is right here on our rooftop studio. Are we going to cut back the pilot briefing and get any more info, or what's the plan?
I don't know what's actually going on at pilot briefing.
You're the producer guy, so you make the executive decisions.
Maybe the truck can tell me. Are we still out there? Yeah, the pilot briefing is apparently done. I'm not seeing a lot of activity on the field, so my guess is we're going to be on a little bit of a hold, a little bit of a weather delay, and so we'll wait for some official information about that.
Since I just said we were part of the official communication plan now, maybe we'll get some official word that we can
Let me kind of force the issue here.
Okay, yeah, you have all those communication devices over there. Make a call, get in touch with someone, and see what you can find out, because we have a lot of people watching around the world and across the U.S. on our live stream who are wanting to know, what the plan for today is, as well as the sizable crowd here at Balloon Fiesta Park. And, of course, at Balloon Fiesta Park, you can go over to Main Street, do some shopping, you can grab some breakfast. If you're melting in the rain, you can hopefully find a place to get out of the moisture. I'm melting! So, you have some options down there. But our viewing audience, can only just watch, although they're not, they're probably enjoying things from their home or their office. They're not out in the rain, so they're staying dry too. While we're checking in with our officials on this morning's flight status, Ruth Lind is down on the field with a longtime friend of mine, and I'm sure hers, and veteran balloonist Roy Cayton. So, Ruth, don't know where you are, but take it away wherever that may be.
Good morning, Glenn. We actually found a light right at the base of the briefing tower, and I caught up with Roy Cayton at the briefing today, and he told me some shocking news.
That I'm retired? Oh, yeah, and it feels great. Still flying, of course, but a lot of the pressure's off, and just enjoying doing some other things, and glad to be here. And good morning, Glenn.
We were talking earlier, and you said that you had flown corporate balloons for 29 years and then ride balloons after that. Tell us a little bit about some of the corporate balloons that you flew for over the years.
Boy, the list is pretty long. I worked for a company that had multiple contracts. We've flown for Anheuser-Busch, and United Van Lines actually was a 29-year program. So I flew to United Van Lines balloon for the entirety of their contract. But we've flown some special shaped balloons, the Energizer Bunny, TBS birthday cake shaped balloon, which was a fun balloon to fly, 7-Up cans, stuff like that. And I got to travel all over the country. That's how I met you. And so many of the friends that I've made in ballooning. And one of the big reasons for coming here is not only to flying, but to see some of these people again. So I'll be back more for many, many years.
I'm curious, what does the consummate professional like yourself do in retirement?
Volunteer, play golf. I love playing golf. I've got a couple motorcycles, enjoy taking trips. In fact, I went to visit my little sister in Montana this summer. And just enjoying life, doing a little bit of flying, but like I said, just trying to enjoy what I've got.
That's wonderful. I hope you enjoy your retirement, Roy. Glenn, Art, I don't know, we retire, but we never quit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You never quit. Yeah, keep going.
Absolutely. And hello, Roy, from the rooftop. It's good to see you, my old friend. Roy and I met on the balloon circuit. As he said, he used to fly a number of commercial balloons. And those of us who've traveled the ballooning circuit to balloon rallies around the country don't recall necessarily when and how Roy and I met, but as he mentioned, that's how he met Ruth, and it's how Roy and I first crossed paths. We stumbled into each other at a balloon rally somewhere, formed a friendship, and have been friends for many, many years now. So it's good to see you out here, my friend. Stay safe and try to keep dry for a little while. So, yeah, and they're absolutely right. You know, we may retire, but we never absolutely quit. It's hard to walk away from ballooning.
It is.
I had that kind of feeling last year when we did Balloon Fiesta Siesta. It felt so unusual. 31 straight years or 30 years prior to that, every October, I'm here for 2 weeks, and it felt so strange not to be there. And over the past 2 years, because of COVID, like you, we both do other ballooning events around the country. And, it struck me that when we finally started to see some events come back this year, we had the team nationals at my home there in Shreveport, Louisiana. And I saw balloons flying for the first time, and I thought, wow, it feels so weird because I've lost touch with so many of these folks that travel and you don't see them, and they have new balloons, and it's like, wait a minute, who's flying what? And suddenly I felt very rusty, even though I wasn't announcing the event. And then I did announce. No, I didn't announce in Longview this year. They didn't use me there either because we didn't have the event open to the. We didn't have a public. Forum for the event. They just had the balloons flying in the city.
Right.
This is actually the first announcing that I've done in 2 years, and so it feels, you feel a little rusty because you haven't been out there doing the routine things with all these other events around the country and seeing all the pilots and crews. So,
well, it seems like a COVID project for a number of balloon pilots was to get a new balloon.
It seems that way, yeah.
So, I think more of them are actually even taking on the home-built game and building some of those.
Well, and as we saw earlier, the radio control balloons.
Yes.
I know there were some. Zarek and Karen Wells built one. Wrote a nice article about how they constructed their
regular size balloon Guilty, and the little one it's a replica.
A replica, yeah.
A little guilty.
A little guilty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that like being a little pregnant? I'm not sure that's possible.
Well, it's. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we've all found ways to keep busy, during the COVID lapse. You and I, of course, did Balloon Fiesta Siesta, where without there being an actual event here, we still did a 9-day Balloon Fiesta Live program. But as I say, that felt so strange because while it was fun and in some ways a great alternative, being able to just commute from my bedroom to my office, it was unusual not being here in Albuquerque for these 2 weeks. Every October, it becomes, we were talking earlier about you plan your life around things. It does become a part of your life, and you get used to it, and you begin to expect it, and when it's not there all of a sudden, it's definitely different. So the yellow flag has just been raised. You can see it there on the video screen, those of you watching around the world, and if you're looking at the big video wall here at Balloon Fiesta, you can see the yellow flag flying just there beside it. So Art, why don't you refresh us on the various meanings of our flag system, and particularly now the yellow flag. We know green means go. Yellow is a cautionary type thing.
And or we're on hold or a delay. We're still looking at things, still trying to make some sort of decision. If they were to change that to red, the event would be canceled. We would not be flying. But again, it is yellow. I just heard our balloonmeister, Henry Rosenbaum, talking to our launch officials. They want to have a conversation with the balloon of the day about whether they're going to stand that up, what might happen with that. So they are definitely continuing to evaluate and look and see what's happening here, and we'll just keep monitoring the radio, and as things happen and we hear about them, we'll pass those along to you.
I think we're having a brownout on the rooftop here as we're taking the power down on our stage lights.
Well, we have these new stage lights. These are brand new stage
are
lights.
They?
Yeah, I mean, literally, they took them out of the box on Thursday or Friday when we set it up. And they have a dimmer on them so we can control the amount of brightness as opposed to just have all that light at us.
So how come we didn't dim the lights when we were doing the glow the other night so we could see the balloons? Come on,
because our chief technical officer wasn't up here to take a look at that.
Okay.
That's why he was down there in the truck punching the buttons or something.
I mean, that's a brilliant idea to have. I've never seen dimmers on stage lights, so that's brilliant. But, you know, if we have them, let's use them. Note for tomorrow night and Friday night.
Dim the lights on the stage.
Actually, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, the next 3 nights, yeah. Once we start the glow, we can dim the stage lights.
So, sorry, I'm obviously a number of officials standing next to each other, all talking on the radio, and we're hearing all the feedback from those guys as we continue to try and monitor what's going on here. Balloon Fiesta Live is going to be live whether we have an event or not, just like we did with Balloon Fiesta Siesta.
We are live.
We are live
an event
right now,
not.
and we're having one. But even if things, so somebody said this morning, so are we going to do the show this morning if it rains? Well, yeah, of course we're going to do the show because only the people in Albuquerque might even have a clue that something's happening weather-wise. We've got people all around the country and all around the world that are watching. So my plan as the executive producer is if we've advertised we're going to be there for a show, we're going to do the show. May end up being a short one, but we will always be here, and we'll always be here at our 6 a.m. and our 6 p.m. Mountain time zones or time slots to be able to bring you a show and keep you up to date on what's going on.
Now, looking on the live feed, are we seeing a little bit of light rain out to the west there? We certainly are seeing some low cloud. But it almost looks like there's a little bit of virga falling out of those clouds, light rain that may or not actually be hitting the ground. Certainly isn't pouring down there, but you can almost sort of see, just to the right of the tower lights there. I'm sorry, my left, as we look at the view. You can see a little section there, and then there's a clear spot, another little section, another little clear spot. Looks like there may be some virga falling out of some light rain falling out of the clouds.
That's what it looks like to me.
And I can't tell how far away that is, but it's not here at Balloon Fiesta Field, but it's out to the west of us. But you could definitely see that the sky was cloudy out there.
And of course, I saw Ken Catalini this morning, and he was carrying an umbrella. And I asked him if that was a little preventative medicine. He said, sure, if we all break out our umbrellas, it won't rain.
There you go.
And so what happened here on the rooftop studio, we started covering some of the electronics. The rain stopped.
Rain stopped, yeah. Well, Murphy's Law, I guess.
There you go. So we are on an indeterminate hold for, I'm not sure. We're just kind of waiting. We expect the rain to move through. Actually, as it does start getting light, if you look up, you can start seeing the clouds.
But you can also, if you look out look over your shoulder, there's some clear space up there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's not much. I was about to say we can see clouds, but they're not heavy, thick.
No.
Threatening ones.
They're almost more of a low, light scud layer. we would refer to it as. And we still can't see the peak of the Sandias, of course, still dark and probably cloud covered. But there are spots where we can see through the clouds from here on the rooftop. So that
official
could be
sunrise
encouraging.
about 15 or 20 minutes away still.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as we've talked all week, it takes another
half hour or
when
more.
there's no clouds in the way.
Yeah, when there's no clouds, for the sun to get up and over the Sandias and begin to light Balloon Fiesta Park. But we usually can see the first light of day around the edge of the Sandias. And, well, actually, if I shade the lights,
look out there.
You can actually see a little sunlight through the clouds right around the far end of the Sandia Mountains, as a matter of fact.
And we're starting to see some color in it.
I was going to say.
We might have a very beautiful sunrise.
Could be. But, yeah, there are some orange streaks amongst the gray out there just as you look around the north end of the Sandias. So we'll know a lot more once the sun does come up. You can see a much brighter shot of it there. On the monitors, that little light streak you see just toward the north end of the Sandias actually is very orange, kind of pinkish orange in real life. As we look at it here, the sky is a little grayer than the blue that you see on the cameras. But, there is some promise perhaps in the morning sunrise.
So we got some questions about getting involved in Balloon Fiesta from a balloonist standpoint. What happens, what does it cost, all those kinds of things. We open up our pilot applications in the March time frame for pilots to be able to submit an application to be a pilot here at Balloon Fiesta. You usually have a month or two to get those applications in, and then there is a selection process. Obviously, if you've been here multiple times, that's pretty easy to be selected. If you've never been here, then you might end up going through the process because we do have a limited number of spaces here. Once you are in and registered as a member of the pilot crew, if you will, our Balloon Fiesta pilots, then there are pilot packs and gifts for you. All of your propane that you use during the week is covered. It happens to be Pinnacle Propane, who is our propane supplier this year. So I think our pilots are fairly well compensated, taken care of. Some of our out-of-town pilots managed to get a hotel room. And everything's a little bit different depending on where you're coming from, what you're flying.
Yeah.
But it does, and of course, we understand you're taking the time and expense to drive your balloon here, which could be very expensive if you're coming from Maine or other parts that they did a little deal at the safety seminar yesterday afternoon. How far had people come? And we had people here from New Hampshire who said that was more than 2,400-mile drive for them to get here. So there is an expense for you to get here and get home, not to mention the time it takes for you to get here, and then you're here for 9 days, and then the time home. So there is a little bit of expense on your part. Balloon Fiesta attempts to help you out because we know the balloons and the pilots are the show here.
Yeah, it's, even for me, just coming from northwest Louisiana, it's a two-day drive out and a 2-day drive back.
A 2-day drive?
Yes, a 2-day drive. Well, I drive.
Or a 2-drive day?
No, you don't drive twice in one day. It's a 2-day drive. You drive 2 days. Anyway,
just checking.
It was, I drove 7 hours on day one, stopped for the night, then drove 7 hours again on day two to get here, which was last Wednesday. And then I'll leave Monday morning and drive 7 or 8 hours probably and stop for the night and then finish up the drive on the next day. Hey, there is some travel time involved in getting here as well as the 9 days, or in my case 10 or 11 that I'm here for Fiesta. Just wanted to clear up one quick thing. Eric Gordon is asking, it says, Art, you said yesterday that you broadcasted live 5 years ago. I thought you broadcasted while I was there in 08, 09, and 2010. And your reply is?
My reply is Balloon Fiesta Live, the show, started, this is our 5th year for Balloon Fiesta Live. I actually did a live show back in 1990 on a Special Shapes night. There have obviously been the announce going on since in the early 1970s. So as far as a live broadcast of Balloon Fiesta Live started really
years
5 years ago.
Because you joined me 6 years ago when Tom Rutherford retired, and so we worked as just announcers that first year together, and then it was the next year when Balloon Fiesta Live went on the air for the first time.
There have been other
the
types of shows.
And the local TV stations have always broadcast live, typically, on the weekends, I believe?
Yeah. So, there's been lots of different variations of shows. There continue to be lots of people doing their own show. I think we're the unique one in that we have two pilots sitting up here. We have two people, longtime pilots. We've been ballooning for 30-some years.
Yeah.
We've been broadcasters for 30-some years.
Yeah.
We are the official broadcast. I'm gonna claim that title. The official broadcast of Balloon Fiesta.
Sure, I think
everybody
we can
else
claim that.
is. Not to put the other shows down, but the expertise that we have on our team, because it's not only you and I. Ruth Lynn, been a balloonist and involved in ballooning for 30-some years. She's the director of our America's Challenge Command Center here.
Yeah.
Talk about insight. Kim Vesley actually taught me to fly 30 years ago.
Well,
so
and
Kim has got more than that.
She just received on Sunday, she was one of those who received the Ed Yost Master Pilot Award for her 40 years of safe flying.
And Kim is also a broadcaster. Ruth has that background.
Ruth has that background.
So we have the team that has the background, the depth, the knowledge, the experience, the connections, et cetera, to be able to move through with that. So this is and we do it without commercials.
Yeah,
straight through.
And again, no offense at all to any of the broadcast stations,
Absolutely.
but they don't have the ballooning expertise. And I've always talked about the years that I've been a balloon announcer. There are better announcers than me. I will, no question. But what you and I bring to the table when we at the ballooning events that we announce is our knowledge of ballooning and the sport. Put me in a rodeo, and I'll barely know the business end of a horse or a cow. But I do know balloons because I've flown them for so many years, and been around others who've flown them. So it's not always who's the best announcer. You also have to have a knowledge of what it is that you're talking about and trying to impart to the public. And I think we could stand neck to neck with any other broadcast as far as the experience and the knowledge that our team has, and we probably stand head and shoulders above any of them.
So the RV Life balloon is standing up. That is our balloon of the day. Mike Johnson has that balloon standing up. Somebody asked, why is that balloon inflating if the rain is bad? Because the rain isn't bad.
The rain isn't bad. In fact, it's stopped at the moment, at least according to looking at my iPhone screen. There are no little dots on it anymore.
But I want to get down to Ruth Lynn. We kind of have ignored Ruth out there. Sorry, Ruth. But we're going to let you go now. So take it away, Ruth.
Thank you, Glenn. Yes, I'm down here at the Loveless Medical Clinic with Crystal Wallace. Crystal is the nurse manager down here. And as you can see, Crystal and I are wearing our masks. We have a mask requirement or a mask encouragement here at Balloon Fiesta, and it's not here to annoy us. Crystal, tell us how and why masks are so important.
Yeah, as everyone knows, we are still in the middle of a pandemic, and it is very important, especially in large crowds, to be wearing masks to prevent both ourselves and others from getting sick. We strongly encourage everyone who's visiting here today and other days during the week at Balloon Fiesta to wear masks in hopes of protecting ourselves and others around us.
Thank you, Crystal. And if I do this all the time, I forgot my mask. Where can they get a mask here on the field if they need one?
Loveless Medical Tent actually has some here, so if you're in need of a mask, please stop by and we'll make sure that you have one so that you and your family can be protected here.
And what else do you do here at the medical clinic? What kinds of services would you be able to provide if someone needs them?
Great question. So we can provide first aid services for bumps, bruises, scrapes, things of that nature. But we also have qualified staff here to help with medical emergencies, including strokes, heart attacks, or other serious illness here.
That's just wonderful. Thank you so much for your service here, Crystal. We so appreciate the clinic being here on the field.
Thank you.
Don't you feel the same way, Glenn and Art?
We do, Ruth. We always appreciate the folks at Loveless over there. It's always nice to know. And when you bring 80,000 people out to a particular place, you're bound to have those bumps, scrapes, and unfortunately sometimes a little more serious medical issues. It's great to know that we have that team out here. You know, we have a new public safety director with Balloon Fiesta in the name of Sean Wallace, and I got an opportunity to interview him for our navigator training a little bit ago. And he told me that the response team of the medical folks out here, the EMTs, the paramedics, the response team is literally under a minute because of the way they have things staged. So once they get that call, they are able to respond to any of those issues pretty much within a minute or so. Pretty amazing.
That's amazing given the size of this place.
In fact, it's like if you're out here on the field and something's going on, don't call 911. It's going to delay things. We have an emergency number here on the field that will get right to the dispatch center, and they'll be able to get to that as well. Any official, any navigator, any volunteer has that number on the back of their badge. And there are 1,200 navigators out here, as well as probably a couple hundred officials as we go through bring all the teams together.
Outstanding.
So some great flowers being thrown our way on our YouTube channel chat room. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. If you're just tuning in, we are on a slight hold this morning. There is some rain showers in the area, not right here at the field at the moment, but it's all around us. We're just waiting to see what's going to happen with that. We expect it to be gone. In fact, I'm watching the clouds move. They're actually moving pretty quickly over there.
Yeah, I've been watching them too, but some of those holes in the clouds that we saw earlier are now kind of closing up. Everything's kind of clamming up there. Although we do see more sunlight down around the northern end of the Sandias. There is a little pink color coming to the sky, but you know, it might be cloud cover that's more of an issue today than rain, quite possibly.
So I'm looking at the radar from right here, Steve. We might bring that back up. Looking at the radar, it looks like the bulk of the moisture has actually gone past us.
Gone past us already?
Yeah, you can see there it is. There it is going across.
There it's coming. That's the little sprinkle. Yeah, you're right. It looks like we're on the backside of the rain now.
So it's definitely moving out of here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you heard Brad Tiemeyer say he thought, you know, within the hour that it would move past us, and it certainly appears maybe that way. Now, as I say, though, the issue might be the cloud cover, because it does seem as though the cloud cover is perhaps thickening more than it was perhaps 15, 20 minutes ago. We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, and that's what we're doing. Obviously, that's what a hold is. Wait and see. Hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait.
You know, today would have been a day we would have had our remote control balloons out here as well. We have about 30, and this is really probably the largest gathering of remote control balloons, or one of the largest, because I think it takes 50 to get a world record. But we have about 30 remote control balloons with us out here this morning. Today is their day to fly with us as well. And so once they get the okay that they can set up, then they don't fly away. They're on a tether, and they keep them close by. There's about 30 of them. Most of them are homemade. They range in size from about 1,500 square feet or cubic feet to about 3,000 cubic feet. And of course, our regular size balloons are 77,000 cubic feet for the small ones,
for the small
65
ones,
maybe.
most of them, yeah.
And then our normal sport balloons in the 90,000 to 100,000 cubic feet. And of course, all those ride balloons are 275,000 cubic feet.
Or more.
Or more.
Yeah.
So we may see our remote control balloons stand up as well. The one balloon that is standing up on the field right now, Mike Johnson and the RV Life balloon. That is our balloon of the day. And we are glad to have RV Life join us as a new sponsor as well. Mike calls that balloon Skytrek, and he is from Mitchell, Nebraska. And right below it, the trailer of Bill Lee. Truly New Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
You can see the picture of the balloon
Yep,
that is
sure
painted
can.
on the side of the trailer.
Yeah. And again, I would remind our audience, those of you viewing particularly, that the video on the screen is much brighter than it actually is here in real life. You know, it actually looks like a pretty bright day when you look at that video, but it is still quite dark and gray here. Though, as we said, we do see, continue to see more and more of the sunlight, an orange-pink glow to the sky to the north. as the sun is rising on the backside of the Sandias. And so we're anxious to see, once it climbs high enough into the sky, if it can get through the clouds, how much light it might bring to us here on the park.
The light sky on the north side of the Sandias that we see is getting more orange.
It is, yeah.
Someone is asking about RV Life. Is that a commercial advertisement for a movie or something? RV Life is an organization, and they have an app for people who RV regularly, whether it's full-time or a lot of things. If you're into RVing, you might want to check out RV Life. They have a sponsor message that is running when we're not on the air on the video screens here, and they have what appears to be a really cool app if you are out RVing. I was talking to some RV folks, those that have the really big rigs, the 36, the 40-foot, all self-contained rigs. Apparently they, and I never thought about this, but there are some places that they actually can't go because of the terrain, the rope, and those types of things.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Well, that caught us a bit by surprise.
It did.
We were just chatting away, and suddenly we're told the anthem is on. And so, yeah, there goes our balloon of the day. And
so we've been talking about a delay, but 7 o'clock national anthem underway. It is 7 o'clock. Deanna Richards singing the national anthem for us this morning. And as we've mentioned, Mike Johnson taking Sky Trek with the RV Life Plus banner into the air to get us started on this Wednesday morning.
Now, as promising as that is, if we now look out onto the field, I don't see anyone cold inflating. Do you?
I do not.
And normally, by now, we would have, especially the Rainbow Rider ride balloons would be cold inflating, and the first wave of our mass Ascension would certainly be cold inflating too. So don't get overly excited by the fact that we've launched the balloon of the day and the America's flag. We'll check with officials and see if there's any updated word, but just as a matter of routine, again, there's a great shot of the field on our feed, and you can see there are no other balloons cold inflating, and normally under green flag conditions there certainly would be. The field would be full of balloons cold inflating and getting ready to launch this morning. So
I'm standing by for an official update from our officials. Looks like
official update from the
official
officials.
update from the officials. Looks like they're on the phone checking something. Then they'll be back on the radio with us. So we're standing by to figure out what our game plan is this morning. But you're right. We will, yeah.
Amanda LeBeouf says, we are in New Mexico. How long are they going to be flying this week? We have events every day through Sunday morning, Amanda. And beginning tomorrow, we have events morning and evening. Thursday morning, Thursday night, Friday morning, Friday evening, Saturday morning, Saturday evening, and a final flight on Sunday. So if you're in New Mexico, come on down to Albuquerque.
It's a little reunion going on in our YouTube chat room with folks saying, are you, and oh, you're that, oh, well, yeah, well, gee, where are you now, and all that good stuff.
Well, we had a political battle going on in the Facebook group a little while ago over the issue of masks, and if please take those comments elsewhere. We don't need them on Balloon Fiesta Live.
We
This
could
is not
debate
about
the
politics.
merits of Cameron versus Lindstrom versus Kubicek, but
Well, and
we don't need the others.
yeah, and the only thing I'll say is that masks are not a political statement. They are a matter of safety and health. And if you want to comment about that, take it elsewhere. Get it off the Balloon Fiesta live feed. That's not what we're here for, folks. So I think we're going to get an update on the flag.
If you would put the green flag up, please. Green flag.
Wow.
There you go. You heard it directly from the Balloon Meister, Henry Rosenbaum. Put the green flag up.
Okay, Henry, to all officials and to pilots, the green flag is open. The field is open for free flight. There is no competition. Competition is canceled. We will go through our normal sequence of inflations. Pay attention to your zebras. First right of balloons to take off is the Flight of Nations. Afterwards, we'll go in our normal prescribed flights that are scheduled to take off. We will take off from south to north.
So there's the update.
Yeah, there's the official
You
word
heard it
from the
as
official.
they did.
Absolutely.
Directly from Henry Rosenbaum. We are a go for free flight. Now, today wouldn't have been, he said competition is canceled.
But today is not a competition day anyway.
They have this little kind of informal thing that goes on. They kind of typically throw something out there. It doesn't, you're right, it does not count for any of the overall.
Okay.
It's kind of like its own one-off event.
Okay.
And so they've opened it for what they called free flight, meaning that folks can inflate, they can lift off. We have to follow all the rules with the launch directors or the zebras. We'll have our normal pattern. We're going to get the Flight of the Nations balloons off first.
Ideally,
they have,
they'll go
as he
first,
said, the
right?
right of refusal, if they will. If they want to go, they get to go first. We'll attempt to identify them as they go. And you were talking about no balloons inflating and the ride, especially the ride balloons. Well, there they are.
There they are, just
They were
beginning.
rigged. They were ready to go ahead and start their fans, start their engines, as you will.
Yeah. Drivers, start your engines. Pilots, start your fans, whatever.
So there's Ty Young's chase vehicle.
Yeah.
He's bringing that truck into place. He's been chasing for our ExxonMobil balloon, Tristan McLean, this week. In fact, I see them. They just dropped the Balloon Fiesta Live basket off the back of its little rolly cart. So Tristan will be setting his balloon up, our ExxonMobil balloon, for us this morning as well.
And there on the screen you can see now the Rainbow Rider balloons, our ride concessionaire. They are, in fact, beginning to cold inflate their large balloons, and we'll see more activity on the field now that we have the green flag up. I suspect that it will be a day, though, where we will still see a lot of pilots waiting and watching before they make their own final decision. And as we've said earlier in the broadcast, the green flag can go up, but it is still the pilot in command of each balloon who makes the ultimate decision whether or not they will fly in the conditions that we have this morning. And so we'll just have to wait and see.
So this is a good opportunity to talk about setting up a balloon. And so those poles really are there just to continue to hold that the burner off of your head when you're flying. And the cables that they are connecting go down into the basket, and the envelope will get connected to the other end of those cables. So the structure is all through the cables. Those fiberglass poles, again, are there just to keep the burners off your head.
Yeah, you can actually fly the balloon without those poles or uprights, as we call them, in position. And back in the early days, that was often the case. And you'll see in a lot of vintage
the Picard
video,
balloons especially.
Yeah, well, and when I was at Thunder and Colt, our balloons were certified so that they could be flown with or without the uprights. But the problem, as you mentioned, the uprights, the poles are there to hold the burners above your head, because if you come down and smack the ground and those poles aren't there, well, the burners come down
too.
And that's why in the early days particularly, we often wore helmets when flying balloons. Nowadays, the practice, by and large, is to use uprights. But certain balloons, I think Cameron, probably Lindstrand, Thunder and Colt, maybe Ultra Magic, Kubicek, I'm not sure now anymore, but a lot of them can be flown without upright. I went to a balloon rally once, and when I was flying when I was at Thunder and Colton flying a factory balloon, and all of us at the factory shared those balloons. So whoever had packed it up last had forgotten to pack the uprights. Well,
no!
I grabbed the balloon and go to the rally, and I'm rigging my balloon. Well, where are the uprights? Where are the uprights? And fortunately, I could still fly, even though I didn't have the uprights, but I sure had to be careful about making soft landings.
On the screen, it looks like there's a hole in the side of that one Rainbow Rider balloon.
That's one of those notorious turning vents that we talk about.
Exactly. So on the side, the fabric's a little heavier and it hangs loose, but in flight, that seals, and then they're able to open it up, let the air out of that, and that's what makes the balloon spin and turn.
That is a gorgeous shot right there. Look at that. Look at that on the screen. The pink of the sky in the north. Then the gray clouds above. That is, that's really something. That's quite a shot. Greg, when you get a moment, would you come crank the heat up over here for me just a bit, sir? Thank you. Quick shout out to our production assistant, who's doing an amazing job working with us this year.
He is. We're glad to have Greg on board with us.
First time as part of the Balloon Fiesta Live team and doing a great job.
So while we wait for our balloons to get inflated, it's a good time to kind of take a quick look ahead to the rest of the week, because we have our Mass Ascension Flight of the Nations coming up here this morning. Starting tomorrow morning, it's special shape days on Thursday and Friday with rodeos, flights in the mornings, glows in the evenings, and a special attraction tomorrow morning as well. It's Kids Day here at Balloon Fiesta Park tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's right.
Kids Day brought to us by KOB TV4, and there'll be lots of goodies, I believe, for all the kids at the stage, but you want to be here early to be able to pick those up. So Kids Day tomorrow here at Balloon Fiesta Park. We'd like to welcome all the kids out. And of course, one of the great activities for kids out here is to go around and collect those trading cards from all of our balloon pilots. All of our pilots were given a set of trading cards with their balloon's picture on it, and the trick is to see if you can collect all, 500 and some of them?
Something like that, and something because you and I have trading cards as well.
Yeah, we're the real hot air on the cards.
Yes, indeed.
We're not balloons, but we do have our own official Balloon Fiesta Live trading cards.
Yep.
And you can find those. I think most of our Balloon Fiesta Live team, if you can see them, they hopefully have some in their pocket. They can get you those cards as well.
I had a stack with me, and I gave them yesterday to the young lady who came
I have
up that
more
was a
for
school
you.
teacher. Okay. Well, I was going to say, I had another stack at the hotel room, but didn't bring them out with me this morning because I wasn't sure how long we'd be here this morning, but we have them as well. And if you're of a certain generation, I won't say how old, these trading cards are a throwback to those of us who can remember going to the store and buying baseball cards and eventually I think football cards there was usually a big stick of bubble gum in there, and so for like a nickel you'd get a big chunk of gum and 3 or 4 or 5 trading cards of your favorite baseball players, and then you'd get together with your friends and you'd try to, hey, I've got a Mickey Mantle, I'll swap you that for a Whitey Ford or whatever, and just by the mention of those names, I've just dated myself quite a lot. But so the balloon trading cards, we don't have the bubble gum, we just have the cards. So
the cards were always the best part anyway.
It's BYOBG, bring your own bubble gum.
So there's one of our Rainbow Riders balloons putting heat in the balloon, standing it up. There's at least 2 going hot. The rest will be going hot shortly. They'll be getting their flights in the air, and a number of balloons scattered all across the field starting to inflate. But as you mentioned, it is always the pilot in command's decision whether to fly or not. We keep checking in on our Exxon Mobil balloon with Tristan McLean as the pilot. Watch as they put things together. We mentioned that you would connect the envelope to those cables coming up from the uprights. That's exactly what they're doing right there. The carabiners get put together, and they're screwing them down, and then those ropes go up to the envelope, connect to the load tapes, which go all across the top of the balloon.
It's very similar to a gas balloon assembly that we were talking about the other evening for the America's Challenge race. The burner frame on a hot air balloon is essentially the load ring like on a gas balloon, and everything connects to that. The cables that run under the basket up to the burner frame and connect there, and then you have cables that tie into the load tape structure of the envelope that come down and connect at the load ring or the burner frame. So everything connects. The system is all connected to the burner frame, just like a gas balloon. You have the basket that connects to the load ring, and then the envelope connects to the load ring. So that frame is really the critical factor. It holds everything together.
That is the structure. And the basket's kind of just supported in there. And the fabric, of course, just holds the air in.
Yeah.
So that the structure can provide the lift and the strength. So we saw the balloon get stretched out. Tristan's got himself a wheeled cart to be able to handle that. Did you notice that?
Well, I see it now down on the field now as I'm looking around to it. I can remember, you remember the Freixenet balloon? The golden champagne bucket with the bottle of champagne sticking out the top. At some other special shapes, I think the Energizer Bunny, some of those balloons that have really large envelopes use those wheeled crates. And rather than pack the envelope into a bag that the crew then just picks up with handles and manhandles out to empty the envelopes are stuffed into an envelope bag, but it's inside a rolling chariot, if you will, rolling buggy, whatever you want to call it.
And so now they're out at the top of the balloon where they're going to tab the top in. We've talked about the parachute top, the vent at the top of the balloon, and they're going to put that top in with Velcro. We're looking from the top back down towards the basket. They'll tab that in with the Velcro. It's just going to hold it in place while they blow the cold air into the balloon. And then once they get the balloon standing up, they'll pull that top down, release all that Velcro, let the hot air hold it in place. That becomes the vent, the valve to be able to let some hot air out so that we can come down versus just letting the balloon cool off. As we look on our feed here, we can see the yellow circles on the Rainbow Rider balloons. It's kind of inside the Zia on the balloon that is standing up. Those are all the parachute tops. Every balloon has one in some way, shape, or form. The connection mechanism inside may be slightly different. We have Velcro tops where they're Velcroed in all the time and you don't pull them until you're ready to deflate the balloon. We have spring tops, which is a combination of a Velcro top and a parachute top with something in between. These little springs kind of hold a portion of it in as well. And then we still have some old Adams balloons out here that are called pop-top balloons. And that balloon is sealed with a little ring, and the idea is it's not being held in by the hot air. It's being held in by those ropes. When they release that, the top of the balloon just opens up, and the hot air just flows out the top. It's a very quick deflation method on the old Adams balloons. So it looks like we have one of the Flight of the Nations balloons inflating. We'll keep an eye out, see if we can pick those out for you and make sure that we tell you about them. We're seeing mostly a lot of our ride balloons from the Rainbow Riders fleet. They are all standing up and we'll see them up, but I'm seeing quite a scattering of other balloons inflating as well. There's the Coca-Cola balloon. Yesterday was Coca-Cola Day. We talked about those remote control balloons earlier and the size of those being 3,000 cubic feet or less. And here you get an opportunity to see the Coca-Cola balloon, which is probably a 90,000 cubic feet, right next to the Rainbow Riders balloon, which is probably closer to 275,000 cubic feet. So you can imagine that size difference, and then imagine one of the remote control balloons, much, much smaller than even the Coca-Cola balloon. Mass Ascension Day here at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. And you're watching and listening to Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. As expected and predicted, the clouds that brought a little rainstorm in early this morning. Storm's probably too strong of a word. More of a little spitting, dripping of moisture. Directly overhead our rooftop studio, the clouds are almost gone. As I look behind us, bright blue sky. So all the dark clouds are now north of the field. And with our typical drainage winds that take us from north to south, the balloons will be able to fly towards the south as the storm moves north. That's those balloons going different directions, the winds going different directions at different altitudes. So the clouds are moving away to the north, the drainage wind coming to the south at lower altitudes. So I think I hear whistles down there on the field. The whistles would be from our launch directors, our zebras as they were referred to earlier, with the idea that they are giving the okay for a balloon to launch. Whistles help get the attention of the crew, who's probably already paying attention, but also the crowd that is standing around, so that you turn around, look at the whistle, you see whether the launch director is giving the balloon pilot a thumbs up or not. When they get the thumbs up, they will be launching. We have about 40 or 50 launch directors out here working. They each are assigned an area of the field. And the captain balloon is standing up right here in front of us. Captain flying the Oxy banner. I see Scott Vesely putting up Lighthouse Business Systems. Our Dawn Patrol show that was scheduled for this morning did a static display on the ground. They obviously did not fly. And now I see Scott is reinflating his balloon, so I'm thinking Scott is planning to fly as well. Here's a great shot of the captain and ExxonMobil. And now back out to the Rainbow Riders, and you just see the lighthouse balloon I was talking about on the left side of the screen, the mostly orange with some purple and pennants on the side of it. And there goes one of our Rainbow Riders balloons, one of the newest ones in their fleet. The one with the New Mexico Zia. Also has a pattern right around the bottom of the throat. There it is. And as that balloon turns, using one of those turning vents we talked about, you'll be able to see, oh, this side has got the Roadrunner on it. The other side, in about that same position, is the Coyote. A reach back and a throwback to 1972, when the first balloons gathered for what is now the first Balloon Fiesta. They had a little competition where one balloon went off and the others followed it. Typically in Europe and other places, that would be a hare and hound race, the hounds chasing the hare. Out here in the Southwest, It's the Roadrunners chasing the Coyotes chasing the Roadrunner. $275,000 cubic feet of air inside that Rainbow Rider balloon. So, you can't put an event together like this without a lot of volunteers, a lot of folks, and people to be able to keep and help keep us all safe. And Ruth Lind has found one of those organizations and one of their representatives. Ruth, tell us about it.
Oh, I am just geeking out down here. I'm with Lieutenant Aaron Williamson of the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department, and they have a motorcycle patrol with BMW RT bikes. Are they all 1250s?
Most of them are 1250s. We do have a couple of 1200s in there.
I have so many questions. First of all, tell me what the motorcycle patrol does here at Fiesta.
Our primary focus is traffic, getting people in and out of here for each and every event of the Balloon Fiesta.
And other things that you might do while you're here on the field?
Obviously, we're out here for public safety, to keep people safe, make sure everybody's enjoying themselves and not getting hurt.
That's wonderful. Well, we were talking before we went on the air, and I was telling you I rode a BMW RT actually I had a couple of them. Why did you choose this particular bike?
We chose these. They're for patrol. You'll see a lot of Harleys and you'll see the BMWs. Our agency has chosen the BMWs just because they're a little bit more agile than the Harleys, and it's just what we've been using.
Most of the officers who are on these patrols, do they ride for fun when they're off duty?
Most of the guys have bikes that ride, when they're off duty. But, this is our passion. Everybody that's in this unit is, dedicated and enjoys riding on a daily basis. So that's why we're out here doing it.
That's wonderful. I can tell by the look on your face you really love your job.
It's the greatest job in the world.
Well, thank you so much for your service. We really appreciate everything that you do for us out here at Balloon Fiesta. Glen, Art, I'm going to try to sneak onto the back of a bike, but I have a feeling they'll say no.
Oh, yeah. Well, if we don't hear from you again, we'll know where you are. Off in the wind, easy rider. All right, the red and white balloon that's taking off from the southeast corner, red with the white and blue. That would be from the Netherlands. Canada is overhead in the yellow and white and orange at the bottom. So from Canada. So we're getting some of our Flight of the Nations in as well. Again, we're recognizing Mexico, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Canada, Brazil, Switzerland, and France, of course, as well as the United States. We are glad all of those countries have come to Balloon Fiesta this year, and we look forward to welcoming all of our friends, international friends who could not make it this year, welcoming you back next year. We miss you this year. Oh, and there goes Mexico as well. It was blocked by my view from down here. The Festival Internacional del Globo from León, Mexico. León has a great balloon festival every year. Javier Marino flying the Festival Internacional del Globo. So we continue to see our Rainbow Riders balloons launch into the sky. Others of our regular shaped balloons. This is a mass ascension, although we'll see how many of our balloons actually do get airborne. Again, it's pilots' decision and discretion on whether they want to make the launch or not. We still are concerned about the storm that has definitely moved off to the north side of Albuquerque, out over Bernalillo now probably, and moving up towards Santa Fe. But even though the storm moves away, we can get impacted weather. We may get downdrafts. If it were to start giving good rain north of us, we could get some downdrafts. But we are getting our other balloons in the sky as well. The white banner hanging off that balloon basket we saw there, one of those memorial banners. We do a memorial flight every first Sunday where folks have the opportunity to fly those markers, those banners, in honor of someone or someones we may have lost in the past. The captain balloon flying the Oxy banner. Oxy, a new sponsor for us. We're glad to have them along. Matt Hurst flying the captain balloon. And we saw the ExxonMobil balloon inflating, and then they have put it down, and they have turned it around now to inflate the other way. We typically lay the balloon down so that the wind would blow into the throat of the balloon to help inflate it, and by the same token, to not put pressure on that top to blow it in while you're inflating. So ExxonMobil had hoped to lay it out the other way and give us the banner in a nice position, but they decided that they really needed the help of the wind to get it inflated. So they deflated, repositioned, and they will make another attempt. They'll get it done. They're just going to take a few extra minutes to make it happen, which means we get to watch it inflate twice. We saw it inflate from one angle. We'll see it inflate from the other angle. There goes one of our Rainbow Riders balloons on the west side of the field carrying the KOB4 banner, which gives me another opportunity to remind you about Kids Day here at Balloon Fiesta tomorrow. Lots of scattering of balloons setting up around the field. As pilots continue to evaluate, do I want to fly? Do I not want to fly? What is the conditions? Now that we're getting more balloons airborne, they have a better idea of what the wind conditions, the weather conditions are above us and downrange.
It's always good to have a weather dummy, meaning someone else who goes before you do, so that you can then make your decision by watching how they're doing up in the sky. Oops.
So I mentioned a few moments ago that we were watching the storm move out to the north and the clouds moving away because directly over us it's almost solid clear blue skies, meaning that the winds up there were going to the north, yet the balloons here on the field are launching from north to south. What that really is indicative of what our box wind patterns are.
Yeah.
And if I look directly up, there is one of the Rainbow Riders balloons, the one we talked about with the New Mexico Zia on it and the Coyote and the Roadrunner at the bottom. He is now coming back over the top of us. So there actually is a box up there, which again, we could actually predict based on the fact that the storm was moving out to the north. In fact, there's another one, a Rainbow Riders balloon up there that is actually going more to the west. So that means down low you go south, up a few hundred feet, you're going to go west, and if you go up 1,000 plus, you'll come back north. And actually, the red balloon that we saw with the white and blue checks from the Netherlands appears to have found a parking lot up there.
Or as they would say over there, a car park.
A car park?
Yeah, they don't call them parking lots, they're car parks. Well, I don't
Not
know.
much of a lot much either, just a parking spot.
Yeah, I don't know about the Netherlands, but certainly in the UK it's called a car park. Like you said earlier, potato, potato, zebra, zebra, whatever.
There's Cork the puppy.
I was just about to ask if you had, I should have just said, there's Cork the puppy, but you stole my thunder.
Here, puppy, 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 puppy. That's one of the new special shapes here from Brazil.
We have one of our viewers on Facebook says, I still remember in 2013, Yoon, I hope I pronounced that correctly, showed out the Chinese flags in the Flight of the Nations. I actually, one year, loaned my balloon to a team from China, and I have in my office at home the Chinese flag that they flew off the crown line of the balloon, and the whole team signed it for me. Quite a wonderful souvenir of the international friendships that we make here at Balloon Fiesta with the team from China, that I had great fun allowing them. They would not probably have been here at Balloon Fiesta if I hadn't let them use my balloon, because obviously when I'm here on the roof talking, I don't need a balloon. I have plenty of hot air. I just don't need the balloon. So it was a real pleasure to work with them that year and let them fly my balloon. And as they say, they were very kindly presented me with the Chinese flag, and the team signed it as a great souvenir. Good morning, Sam. Sam Parks, our event director, is passing down below the rooftop studio and on his way up to the officials tower, which is located directly in front of us here.
We've mentioned multiple times that our folks in the chat rooms on Facebook and YouTube sometimes have more information, better information than we do. Certainly a case of being faster with the information. Someone was asking about how much propane does a balloon use on a typical flight. And of course, they got two quick answers that were both correct. One that says, well, it really depends on the size of the balloon, the temperature, how much weight you're carrying. And then the other one talked about 25 gallons per hour. That would be more for a bigger balloon, but some of the sporter balloons could get away with about 15 gallons per hour, depending on the flight. But yes, it's very dependent on the condition of your balloon, the size of the balloon, the temperature you're flying at, the temperature outside, the weight carrying. You're doing all of those types of calculations.
Yeah, normally I would carry 30 gallons of fuel in my 77 sport balloon, and would often fly for an hour or more and rarely ever use the full amount of fuel that I had on board. Ina Vanderkratz, our good friend from the Netherlands, says the dog special shape has an RC version of it that flies in and it doesn't continue. It says Belgium, so I'm assuming that means Belgium. So, yeah.
Alrighty. While we're waiting for more balloons to get in the sky, and our final Flight of the Nations balloon, the Cork Puppy that we were talking about, Ruth has gone from something really cool and fun to something really spooky, they tell me, Ruth?
Right now. Probably. Yes. I am down here with some really scary spectators, as you can see. Where are you guys from?
We're from here.
Yeah, born and raised.
That's great. And what gave you the idea to do this? I mean, it's scaring me just to look at you.
We thought we seen it on like TikTok and stuff. It's like it's a trend kind of, and I thought it would be cool to do it here because not everybody has the Balloon Fiesta.
Well, and your hair, Tom, if you can see the hair, the whole thing is very Halloween. Are you going to do the same thing every day, or do you have something else for next time you come out?
We'll probably do a couple more shoots with these,
But we're definitely not going to be pumpkin heads for Halloween. We're going to probably be Ghost Rider and Medusa.
Oh my gosh, you guys are rocking it. Glen and Art, I don't know how we're going to top this.
Well, as long as we don't have to put those pumpkins on, we'll be okay.
Absolutely. Don't need pumpkin heads up here on the rooftop studio. Talking about pumpkins takes me back to a few days ago. We were talking about fruit special balloons, fruit-shaped special balloons.
Yes, we were.
And Ray Preston sent me a nice photograph of some RC balloons. So we're tying all things together here this morning. He sent me a great picture of a happy orange, Peggy the pear, and a strawberry. I'll show you the photograph, Art, because I don't know that we can get it up on air. But they're all RC balloons.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that nice?
That's great.
Yeah, an orange, a pear, and a strawberry, just to continue on our theme about both RC balloons, and the other day we were talking about fruit special shapes, because we do have some here. Claire Wade Callahan is watching this morning, by the way. Saw her at our Facebook chat group. Good morning, Claire. We hope you're doing well.
And our cork puppy from Brazil is now airborne. The last of our Flight of the Nations international pilots getting airborne this morning. Luis Assis from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
I actually just made that comment on air. You weren't listening down in the truck. Yeah, our producer down in the truck was saying, I don't know if you saw this comment, but they actually have a RC balloon of that of the cork balloon over in Belgium. And I said, yeah, I just mentioned that on air. Pay attention down in the truck. Come on, guys. Come on, man.
Since we're talking about special shapes in animals, reminded that Monty the black sheep will be here tomorrow for special shapes.
Yeah, I got their message yesterday saying that it was packed and arriving on its way here. So, yeah, good for them. And by the way, they have a little special. I won't spoil the surprise, but they have a little special something for us.
Oh,
the team from Monty the Black Sheep.
Well, I saw that they wanted to come by and see us, so that's good.
Yes, they do, and they've got a little something special to share with us when they get here. Joe Zavada has his racer standing up and about ready to launch. Joe's balloon is the black, white, silver, and yellow spiral balloon right here in the front of the field on the south end. Ken Walter bringing his balloon upright, the one with the jagged white equator around the center of the balloon. There is, of course, Jonathan Wright, part of the Chain Gang balloon team, in the teal balloon with the red and blue accents, interlocking accents.
On the screen, flying right over a couple of our sponsor balloons. There's the Bubba's 33 food balloon inflating right next to the Phillips 66 balloon.
And just
next
had a look
to that,
at the Dos Equis.
Yes, a dose of.
A dose of, yeah.
Hot air, entertainment, a dose of Glen, a dose of art.
A dose of art.
A dose of Scott.
A dose of tequila, just remember the old song, Tequila? Tequila!
Yeah.
Just
Dos Equis!
Yeah, Dos Equis. There you go. You never know where our brains may carry us on a crazy day like today.
You think it's carried by brains?
Not really. Not really. Ken Walter is about ready to launch as well. He's in that yellow balloon with the interlocking red. Ken Drawn is in the yellow balloon with the interlocking red and blue diamonds. Ken Walter is the one we just had on the screen with that jagged white equator around the center. And there goes Joe Zavada, just talked about him a moment ago, in his black, white, yellow, and silver spiraled balloon. Getting all my names mixed up. And speaking of balloons getting launched, there is Richard Sabin also launching more to the north end of the field. The racer that is multi-shades of blue and white. Graduated from dark blue, navy blue, royal blue, sky blue, and white on his racing balloon.
I've been looking at that balloon that just went off that has all the other balloons, et cetera, on it. You may have seen it.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it several times.
And I haven't been able to find it in the spotter app, so I finally found it by the banner. So that's actually Andy Baird. he's given us a picture of a different balloon, and so that's one of the Cameron demonstrator balloons, I'm guessing. Speaking of that,
I like that little balloon because years ago, back in the 90s, again when I was with Thunder and Colt in Texas, our managing director at the time built a balloon similar to that. It was sky blue and had a number of little hot air balloons on it, but it wasn't. None of it was three-dimensional like some of them are on Andy's balloon.
Speaking of Cameron balloons, we have a special.
They're building a balloon here.
Yeah, you can actually see what it takes to build a balloon. They are actually building one. They're sewing one. I checked in on their progress yesterday. They're making great progress on it. They're starting to get into some of the rigging. A lot of the balloon is actually already pieced together, although they still have a lot to go.
Right, yeah.
If you'd like to see that while you're here on the field, if you would go to the Sid Cutter Pilots Pavilion. That's the big permanent building in the southeast corner of the field. Go around the east side of the building, and you'll be able to take a peek at the sewing machines and the sewing folks and all the
seamstresses.
Seamstresses. That was the word I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
I kept thinking sewers. That's not the word.
Now, sewers, mispronounced, is sewers, and you don't want to go there.
No, all the seamsters and seamstresses, because they have both genders.
Right, seamsters, and which are like teamsters, I guess. Seamster, whatever.
Anyway, the east side of that building, you can see this balloon being built right here at Balloon Fiesta. There goes Smiley, our emoji balloon. Smiley being flown by Nick Donner from Louisville, Kentucky.
Yep, except during competition days, and then he flies his racing balloon. Ken Walter about to pass right over the top of the rooftop studio. Hello, Ken, my good friend.
Good morning.
Down here from the great state of Wisconsin. And right behind him, right behind him is another Ken, and this one is Ken Drawn. And his yellow balloon with the interlocking red and blue diamonds. Good morning, Ken. The other Ken, good to see you. Don't throw that marker. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, the competition's canceled today, remember?
That's right. We are not a target, at least not in that sense.
Frank Bacon has Sunflyer in the air, blue one with the yellow Zias on the side.
Obviously, Ken was not throwing a marker. He was just pretending that he was going to toss a marker at us.
Right.
Just so the officials don't freak out over there thinking somebody was throwing something here at the rooftop.
Sean they kind of all turned and looked, didn't they?
They did all turn and look. We got their attention. Sean Rea is airborne just off to our right in the Sull Air balloon. And Sean, of course, was in first place in the Sid Cutter Memorial Task. He and Lucas Hartzell, the only two who managed to get into the boat, and Sean was in first place. Unfortunately, those scores were disallowed, not just those two, but all the scores on Monday were disallowed toward the overall championship because we had to cancel the competition in flight.
But we had
because of rising winds.
Tasks yesterday.
We did have two yesterday.
And man, did they.
Boy, was there some scoring.
Yeah, there was.
You were getting battered with baggies down there.
They were.
So there will be plenty of scoring for us to determine a new champion of this year's Balloon Fiesta. But the Monday event, because the competition was interrupted by weather, those scores were disallowed. They did make some other arrangements for Sean and Lucas as far as because they did such a great job of getting their markers inside the boat for the Sid Cutter Memorial.
I did see the list of scores, provisional scores from yesterday, and it is just long. It is pages and pages. I got them late last night, and I haven't had an opportunity to put them in a position where we can read them and call them up to you. But we'll have those as we go through the week. And of course, on Saturday is the awards brunch picnic, and we will be there announcing that. We'll record it and be able to put the recording of the awards online with all the rest of ours. So we're getting, It's Maya.
Oh, hi, Maya. There's a stairway right here.
So we'll be recording that. We'll be putting it up for you to be able to check out all the awards. Great prizes, and of course the overall gets a replica of the Sid Cutter trophy. The trophy is a replica of the statue right outside the Sid Cutter Pavilion.
There are the Hartzell family and their good friend Steve Jones. If I remember correctly, and they'll tell me if not, but Steve actually taught Joe Hartzell to fly. Steve lived in Belton, Texas, down near Central Texas in the Waco area, and of course Joe and his family in San Angelo, Texas. And so the two got into ballooning together, and they are standing, well, at least one of the Hartzels. There's three of them here, and we never know which is which. One's in the air, one's on the ground, and I don't see the third one. So Joe's here, along with his two sons, Lucas and Rhett, and then Steve Jones is launching from the same area right beside them. Steve in that yellow balloon with the orange top. Steve was actually managing director of the Thunder and Colt factory back in 1990 when I bought my first balloon, Yellow Rose. Bingo. Just throwing it out there. I'm going to have a quick chat here with a friend, and I'll let you carry on.
There's Lady Jester on the screen getting cold inflated. Robert Lupton from Albuquerque has Lady Jester. We've seen a number of our red, white, and blue balloons in the air as well. There goes Infinitude, the fractal balloon. That pattern is actually printed on the fabric. That makes that pattern. One of the things that Jonathan Wolf worked with Kubitschek to be able to do. We're starting to see that on other balloons as well. And there's the Balloon Fiesta, Spirit of Fiesta balloon standing up in the middle of the field. That should be Ray Bear flying that today. Ray brought that balloon in during competition yesterday. Textbook, come in, drop down 15, 20 feet, if that, off the ground, so that you can just basically almost set your marker in the, first it was on the center of the X. That was the first task. And the second task was to put the marker in the point of the triangle, one of their 4 triangles that was out there. He put it in the corner of that as well. So great job by Ray Bear yesterday on the target. I do remember him being up near the top of the points from yesterday's competition. There's Master Yoda. Another one of our fun special shapes. And of course, special shapes taking place featured tomorrow and Friday with flights in the morning and Glodios, or special shape glows, in the evenings. Of course, in the morning, we'll also have our competition flights as well as our special shapes. And tomorrow is Kids Day, so a very busy day on tap for tomorrow here at Balloon Fiesta. One of the balloons we talked about yesterday that has quite the tradition and history here at Balloon Fiesta is Raggedy Ann. And Ruth Lind has made her way over to Raggedy Ann. Ruth?
Yes, Glenn, I'm down here with John Schmitz, who's flying the Raggedy Ann balloon. This balloon was built exactly when?
March 24th, 1975.
And it's still flying?
Yes, she is. She's very airworthy. I mean, I've flown her almost every day at Fiesta this year. Probably have 5 additional hours.
Wow. I was looking around this balloon while they were cold inflating it, and all of the artwork that you see on this balloon is appliqued. None of it is painted on. Every single piece sewn down onto this balloon. Talk about what that means in terms of airworthiness and repairability and all of that.
Thankfully, the Barnes or Firefly balloons don't have to have a pull test on every color fabric, as it would take a number of days to get an annual on this balloon. But it also makes it very hard to repair if we have any tears or accidents, because it is all hand sewn.
Do you have a stash of repair fabrics?
No, I don't.
Oh my goodness. Well, John, thank you so much. I know you're getting ready to go fly. We all honor the memory of the woman who flew this balloon for many years, and we thank you for your time. Have a great flight.
Thanks, Ruth.
Thanks, Ruth. Good to hear from John. Good to see that balloon in the air.
You
that
bet.
was one of the early balloons. I remember that being when I first started coming out around balloons in the early 80s, and as we heard, it was actually around before that. Ray Bear's going to buzz us the tower here with
I knew they were bringing the balloon back out. I had a message prior to Fiesta that it would be flying here. So glad to see that Ruth had a chance to catch up with them.
Good morning, Ray. There's the wave.
Yep. Good morning, Ray. Ray was another of those who received the Ed Yost Master Pilot Award for 40 years of safe flying. We mentioned earlier that he also has just retired, I think you said, as a DPE, a designated pilot examiner.
He has.
Having given over 500 check rides here in Albuquerque during his career. There goes the Mission Linen Mission Linen Supply balloon. Hot chocolate talking back to me.
Jerry Graff and Lofty.
Yeah, and they're another one like that has been
around and a sponsor at Balloon Fiesta for many years.
As long as I can recall, back from, and that's 32 years, so they've been with us for quite some time. Yoda is in the sky. You may have said that. Lady Jester is inflated here at the south end of the field. Lady Jester now lives here in Albuquerque, but was originally made for my good friends Carson and Martha Lane, the Fun Bunch out of Louisiana. A couple of Cajun balloonists that we used to have a great time. They were famous for, after flight at a balloon rally, they'd go out into the parking lot and do a jambalaya and invite all the pilots and crew to come out and have good old Louisiana jambalaya after a morning flight. That was always lots of fun.
There's Yoda in the sky.
Sometimes brew up a roux and make a gumbo, but a lot of times it was jambalaya. Miss those days. They've now retired from flying and are living the good life down in South Louisiana.
Someone was asking about Darth. Haven't seen Darth inflate today, but he has been here all week.
Yeah, he's here.
And there's Raggedy Ann in the air now.
Yep.
With Lady Jester.
Indeed.
It just slowed down right here on the field.
It has.
There was a little bit of breeze here.
It's turned out to be a really nice day.
Yep.
For all the consternation that we had going on early when we first arrived this morning.
Well, the whole idea was we knew that this was going to go through overnight. It was a matter of, was it going to get out early, a little bit later?
Yeah.
There was, we talked about the fact that there might have been a possibility for a little bit of showers this morning, and lo and behold, that's what happened.
That's what happened, and then it moved out, and the sun came up, and the sky is blue, and the birds are singing, and the flowers are blooming, and well,
the
maybe
announcers
not. It's
are
October.
yapping.
yes, we are. Anyway, yeah, it's turned out to be a nice day.
What a great day.
Not quite the Chamber of Commerce weather that we've had for the first 3 days, and look to have tomorrow and Friday, but still a nice day. There's a wave from
Lady Jester.
Lady Jester
Bob?
as they're just up and over the edge of our rooftop studio here.
Tom Caius and Dream On going right overhead as well. Look at that shot, looking up at Raggedy Ann.
Raggedy Ann, yeah. Look at that.
It's not really flying sideways.
No, not really. That's something known as a camera angle, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, I'm just looking back at the feed on the delay here, and they almost went upside down at one point. Whoa, e-ticket ride.
Yeah,
Help.
There it is.
Help, Mr. Wizard. I don't want to be a balloon pilot today. Dina Lee says, we love the yapping. Thank you, Dina.
Yes, thanks.
We do get carried away sometimes.
Hey, there goes Flying Oasis. Greg Lindsay, one of our Dawn Patrol folks. Our Dawn Patrol folks stood up, did a little show for us this morning, and now they're getting the opportunity to actually go fly.
Martha and Carson Lane, matter of fact, listening in on Facebook, said just got text buzzes from friends there about Lady Jester flying. Hi, Glen and Art. Yes, we miss the fun times, and so do we, my dear friends. So do we. Hope you're both doing well.
So they have opened the field for the second wave to go ahead and start inflating as well. This is going to be almost kind of like the final day of Balloon Fiesta, where we kind of just lazily go through the field, and it's not a really packed one. People kind of get up on a little more leisurely pace as pilots have kind of watched what's going on. They're starting to see the fact that it is really calming down right here on the field. You don't have to go very high before you go west, and if you go a little higher than that, you actually come back around to the north, which means once you get north of the field, you can drop down, come back to the south, and probably land right back here on the field.
Yep.
And famous Albuquerque box.
And since it is one of those more relaxed days, that gives us a little more time to interact with our viewers in our online feed. And I want to say, wish the lovely Jean Braun a happy anniversary. She and her husband Zachary celebrating their anniversary here very soon. So congratulations and thanks for tuning in. Always good to have them watching with us.
You know, yesterday...
E-tickets, LOL. Yeah, an e-ticket ride. Some folks know what that means. Yoda, backwards I am going. Good one, Dina.
Yesterday we found out that the day before was Greg, our production assistant's birthday.
Right.
So this morning we find out that yesterday was Gary Williams' birthday. Gary, the chief technical brains behind this operation.
Well, my goodness.
So happy birthday to
happy
Gary
birthday,
as well.
Gary. No, I'm the old man. You're a youngster still. Yeah. We should have had a cake here on the set with all of our team members having birthdays. Well, and it's our fifth anniversary.
Our fifth, so
hey,
sure.
we need to order a cake. You know, who's doing the catering here downstairs? Who's doing catering? We need a fifth anniversary birthday cake for Balloon Fiesta Live.
That's it.
Let them eat cake.
Oh, look at that shot with Yoda above Lady Jester.
Yeah, backwards I am going. Backwards I will fly. There is, I just caught a glimpse of the balloon Guilty. You were talking about that's Karen and Zarek Wells balloon. That's the yellow balloon with a big handlebar mustache on it, if you're not familiar with it. And you were saying that their RC balloon, their little miniature replica, is called a Little Guilty?
That's correct.
Okay.
And remember, today we're going to be watching for those remote control balloons. They're scheduled to be here today. We'll see if they get inflated.
Oh, are they coming back today?
Yes.
Oh,
they
good.
should be back today.
Oh, I didn't know that. Good.
And the weather conditions are such that we should be able to see the remote control balloons today as well.
One of the balloon teams that always has a lot of fun is the balloon team that says, "We fly in the buff."
What?
And that is,
the buff?
The buff. They even have T-shirts that say that. They gave me one a few years ago, and that is Barry Ballinger in the Plains Capital Bank balloon, the blue balloon with the two Tatanka, or buffalo or bison, choose your own term, on the side. And Ruth Lind is down there right now with Barry Ballinger and the In the Buff team. So, Ruth, take it away.
Never heard of him.
I think we're having some.
Hey, you guys,
yeah, there we go.
I'm down here with Barry Ballinger. Hi, I'm down here with Barry Ballinger of Lubbock, Texas, and he's flying the Plains Capital Bank balloon. We haven't talked to a lot of corporate pilots this week out in the field, but I'd like for you to tell our audience what a corporate balloon program does for a business.
Well, I don't know that there's too many things that we can do that would catch more attention than to fly a balloon. And I think that's what our company feels like that we're doing is using the balloon for promotional and marketing purposes. And that was the whole point when we got back into it in 1993 and have continued it during that period of time. So we're proud of what we can do over here to make Fiesta a little more fun for the spectators.
It's a fun balloon, and you've been doing this since 1993 with Plains Capital Bank. Do you have any stories about things that have happened for the bank or new customers that have happened as a result of their corporate program?
Well, we are a completely Texas-based bank, and so it might be deemed a little unusual for us to be over here in New Mexico flying a banner for a Texas-based bank, but we have a lot of customers that travel to this event as spectators. We also have a lot of customers who have maybe second homes in New Mexico and are able to watch us on TV broadcast. And so we believe that we're getting a lot of coverage just in terms of a brand awareness that we're proud to do, and it's a fun way to do it.
Well, thank you so much, Barry. It's wonderful to have you here. Your balloon with that buffalo head is really, really, really fun. And I guess we'll let you get back to work and throw it back upstairs to Glen and Art.
Thanks, Ruth, and say hello to Barry for me, a longtime friend. We used to have Barry every year at a little balloon rally that we did in Abilene, Texas for a number of years. And I grew familiar with the In the Buff balloon team. And again, the two Tatanka on the side. If you remember the movie Dances with Wolves, Tatanka was the Sioux word for buffalo. And so, yeah, Barry and the Plains Capital Bank balloon do a great job for their sponsor and are here every year. Good to have them back again. And just checking some of the other balloons that are flying away this morning. I was trying to get the idea on this little red balloon here with all the white pennants, but when you punch a red into our spotting app, there's only a few hundred balloons that pop up, and by the time you get to scroll through them all, the balloon I want to talk about is probably already gone.
Gone, gone, gone.
That's an Eagles song, already gone. Ba-dum-bum. So, yeah, it looks like I'm not going to get to tell you who that was before my goodness. It just goes, it's like the Energizer Bunny. It goes on and on and on and on as I'm scrolling through all of these balloons.
That was a fun balloon when it was here, the Energizer Bunny.
It was, yeah.
Certainly huge.
It was that, indeed.
It was definitely that.
Of course, Glo Kehoe, a pilot here in Albuquerque, our friend and veteran corporate pilot, flew the Bunny for a number of years. One of the tallest hot air balloons ever made, as a matter of fact. And it just kept going and going and going, and then it was gone.
There you go. Take a moment and just remind folks here on the field that there is no smoking allowed on the field. With all the propane and all the fabric that is out there that is susceptible to that, please do not smoke anywhere on the field. And of course, the state of New Mexico has some public health orders in place. If you go inside any building, which would include a tent, please put that face covering and mask on. And if you're hanging out with a crowd of people or in a crowded area of the field, we ask that you also put a face covering on. If you'd like to avoid that, then move around to other portions of the park where it is certainly not crowded.
Yep, just socially distance if you're not into wearing the mask when you should.
There is not a bad seat or standing point in the house. So.
No, absolutely not. So, but we are, pandemic aware, and we do have to follow the state guidelines. And if that's not something you're comfortable with, then you should stay home and watch Balloon Fiesta Live on your TV screen, where you can do as you please. How many balloons are there this year? Teresa Bennett is asking. We've talked about that a number of times. It's changed dramatically. It seems to be alternating, varying day to day to day, as some are able to arrive, some can't get here, et cetera. But I think the number that's been tossed around was 550 was generally.
That's basically the number of registered balloons. If you bring in additional pilots, because some balloons will have more than one pilot.
Some have a second pilot listed.
We have about 615 pilots here.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you're just, and nobody keeps, we're not counting. We can't do that, obviously, with each launch, but roughly 550 is the number that's been tossed out publicly as the official registered number of balloons this year.
The closest we get to those numbers is actually when balloons come back and they go through the propane line.
Right, because we scan them as they go through the propane line, so we know how many flew that day.
We actually collect also little launch chits when they do launch from the field here. They give a little piece of paper to the launch director, so we know that with who comes in for propane.
For fuel, yes.
So after the fact, we are able to go back and do some counting, which is how we were able to claim the world's record, the Guinness World Record, for the most number of balloons launched. I think it was 584 in 2019.
Okay.
So that is now the standing Guinness World Record, and it's in the book that was just released in September. And then, so people that have been here for a while or been here for, or remember that we had a whole lot more than 584 balloons back in 2000. In fact, we had like 1,013 or 1,019 balloons here.
Right.
So people say, why wasn't that the record? What happened to that? How can 584 be it when you launched 1,000?
Right.
Well, there's a process to get a Guinness World Record, and so we are certified at having the 584 balloons in 2019. We did not go through that process back in 2000
right.
to claim the record then.
I want to say a quick good morning to Matt Torgerson, or maybe good evening. Matt is watching from Seoul, South Korea. Thanks for checking in, Matt. And you talk about that Guinness process. You know, I was very lucky to be a part of Andrew Holly's Fly Every State balloon challenge, or Guinness World Record challenge. And there were several criteria that the Guinness folks laid out that we had to meet. We had to have a signature of the landowner where they launched from, the signature of the landowner where they landed. The balloon had to reach a certain altitude. It had to remain in the air for a certain amount of time for it to be counted as a legitimate flight. You couldn't just inflate, fly up 100 feet and land and say, okay, we flew in the state of New Mexico, and then go on. And all of that had to be documented and certified, et cetera, before the record was established. But Andrew does hold the record for having flown a hot air balloon in all 50 states and in record time. We did it, now I'm going to forget, but I think it was, Andrew, I know you're watching, you can tell me, but I want to say it was like 43 days. And as a matter of fact, the most fantastic thing was the last flight was in Hawaii, where Joe Zavada flew with him, and they actually had a box. They launched at the small airport in Hawaii and actually made a box flight, landing right back at the airport in front of the terminal building where they took off from.
So we're seeing a hot moment. Our ExxonMobil balloon being stood up again right in front of us here. We're getting a great view of crew view right behind the basket as Tristan puts the heat to the balloon and stands it up.
Ron Berman is watching. Ron, you live just down the street. Why are you watching? Why aren't you out here on the balloon field, man?
Got a chance to chat with Ron and Trish yesterday. They went there the day.
Yeah.
Was it yesterday? Monday was Monday they were out.
Which one of the days we went downstairs. I drove right by Trish and just waved and didn't even recognize her. And
Ron was up here looking for you.
Ron was
because
up here
Trish wanted to see.
because Trish wanted to see me, and I was downstairs running past her without saying hello. We did eventually unite, thank goodness. And Ron and Trish have been such great friends. Trish, to her everlasting credit, flew with me when I had my first balloon, Yellow Rose, bingo, here at Balloon Fiesta, and it was a Thundering Colt, and she was looking at buying a Thundering Colt, she and Ron, and so she flew with me, and we had an incredibly rough landing because of pilot error, no other reason, and she gave me the nickname Thumper, because I thumped into the ground that morning. Ron and Trish are such dear friends, known them for years and years and years. They're a lovely couple. Ron, they now have a place out in Hawaii, and they just returned from there where they renewed their wedding vows. And Ron telling me Ron telling me it may not be too much longer before they may find themselves in Hawaii full time. So, what's the word? Aloha. But great couple, hello. Wonderful people, just
hello
great folks.
And goodbye.
Hello and goodbye. Yeah.
There's the carousel balloon with Frank Campanella. And balloons bring out the creativity in everyone.
They do.
Whether it's around the balloon or around the rest of their life. Ruth, now you got me doing it.
Ruth.
Ruth has a very creative individual.
Are you calling me a female dog?
No, not at all, not at all.
I am here with Mary Hong of Destin, Florida. Now, Mary is one of the coolest people I've ever met. She drove out here from Destin, and she spent yesterday in the hotel parking lot painting her balloon trailer. What was that like?
It was fun because everybody got to participate in it and tell me what to do and what they wanted to see and what was wrong with it. And it was a great way to participate with everybody, hanging out, enjoying the rest of the day. We flew in the morning. It was wonderful. So it was nice to hang out and paint. Just have something else to do, I guess.
Yeah, well, we're going to step aside so you can see this beautiful trailer. Hang on.
Wow. Look at that.
That's cool.
Is that beautiful or what?
That is awesome. That is awesome. Just gorgeous.
So, Mary, tell me about the inspiration for this thing.
I'd be happy to. So this is just a trailer that was donated, and it didn't have any balloon paraphernalia on or anything, and we decided to make it kind of an annual project. So every time I come to Albuquerque, we swing by Home Depot, and I buy as many cans of spray paint. They give me like 15 minutes to run in and buy spray paint, and then we come back and hang out at the hotel parking lot or at the field after flying. and I paint it. And so every year I touch it up or I do a different design, whatever I feel like doing.
That's so cool. So you do all this with spray paint?
Yeah, just spray paint from Home Depot. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this is just wonderful. We're going to let Mary go put her balloon up and send it back to the rest of the field.
That's awesome, and well done, Mary. Well done indeed, and thank you, Ruth. And wow, that's amazing. But I liked her comment when she said, it was a great way for people to participate and tell her what was wrong.
I know.
Why is it whenever you're doing something creative, there's always someone who tells you what's wrong with what you're doing?
As opposed to way to go.
As if they could do it better, That just doesn't make any sense.
While we were listening to Mary and checking out that really cool trailer, we saw our ExxonMobil balloon get airborne.
Yep,
and here is the shot from the balloon itself looking back down on the field.
Our camera, we go to no length is too long, too great for us to bring you entertainment and visuals from Balloon Fiesta, and that includes putting a camera in our ExxonMobil balloon.
So some great shots looking back down on it. Actually, you may have seen a yellow jacket standing by the basket down there just before they took off.
I didn't, but I'll take your word for it.
That was our birthday boy, Gary Williams, was down there.
Oh, okay.
We don't usually get Gary on camera.
There's Gary. He's actually coming right up the walkway he's on the green carpet, as it were, coming up between the officials' tower and sponsor hospitality on his way back to our production trailer, no doubt, or maybe back up here on the roof to tell us to quit talking about him.
And there's our executive director, Paul Smith, walking this way,
Paul Smith also. Paul also recognized with the Ed Yost Master Pilot Award on Sunday from the Balloon Federation of America.
And he's not paying attention to us.
And he's not paying a single bit of attention to us. Even with the new PA, Paul Smith is not listening to us. So what can you say?
He's talking to the officials.
Yeah, he's. Oh, well. Speaking of officials, we're joined on the tower by a special guest.
We are.
You are.
Mr. Tom Bueno, our Chief of Safety. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
So, go ahead.
I was just going to say, tell us. Look.
Oh, hey, I'd like to tell you something really exciting right now.
There's balloons flying.
There's balloons flying, and also we've got our Globitos, the RC balloons, standing up and flying over there on P9 through P11. Melissa Bond is our Chief Flight Safety Official. So she works with us, and she works with coordinating with the Globitos balloons, and they've wanted to stand up and have a nice show this morning. It's going to be fantastic out there.
So they're starting to inflate and stand up already out there?
They've got a couple of them standing up, and we'd love to see some families and kids get over there and take a look at it. They were really excited about that.
Our Globitos are the radio-controlled miniature balloons.
Absolutely.
So as opposed to the El Globos, the big balloons, these are Globitos.
Globitos,
smaller balloons. Smaller balloons. Very good, very good. Yeah. And we had actually, what did I hear the number earlier last week or earlier in the week when they inflated?
We have about 30 of them.
I was going to say 30, 35.
Yes, sir. Fantastic. And how about the launch today with kind of iffy conditions? We've got fantastic meteorologists, great balloon meister, myself, Chief Flight Safety, Assistant Balloon Meister, and all the weather team to really analyze the weather every day. And it's micro-meteorology right here on the field we look at.
Yeah.
We also look at a global perspective, what's going all the way down to the airport, all over Albuquerque. And we're really pleased that today we're able to pull this off and have the pilots that want to fly free flight today. And look what we've got.
You guys do a great job, because it would have been very easy today to say, it doesn't look right, let's all go home not put on a show. And yet we've got thousands of people here on site who are here to see a show, and the show must go on, but you have to do it safely, and that's where you and your team and all of and it's great that we have weather guys like Brad Tiemeyer that we can have such great trust in, that when he tells us that's going to pass through within the hour, it's going to clear, we can count on that and go to the bank with it.
Absolutely, and I'd like to do a shout out to our guy that puts the pie balls up and tracks out the weather. Robert Weiss does a fantastic job of that, and making sure that every 15 to 30 minutes we know exactly what's going on at the higher altitudes, so that we can translate that to the pilots and communicate with them. And also, we have a nice weather loop that goes on the Fiesta channel, so the guys can hear that weather loop constantly, so the pilots are informed of what's happening. So really have a great team all working together, coordinating to make sure the event is run safely and it's enjoyable for all the spectators and everyone here.
Well, and I love one of the things that began, I think in the last year or two, where you randomly pick out a young person from the crowd and bring them up onto the officials' tower and let them launch the official pie ball for the morning. That's a wonderful way to involve the local community, and sometimes it's not a local person, it might just be a spectator that's here from goodness knows where.
So those are two kind of informal things we started. I talked to Brad Tiemeyer about it, because one of the things we like to do that's really fun for families is when we decide to put up the green flag of the day.
Right.
Isn't that fantastic? So when I used to put up, when I was a safety official and not on the tower, when I was down there, one of my tasks was to put that green flag up, and I started seeing kids and families walk by, and I said, what a great way to get a couple of kids and families involved. So I'd pull them over and say, hey, would you like to help us put up you can see the grandparents, the parents, the kids light up, because they're going to tell everybody they're going to fly today, right? Fantastic. Yeah. So Brad and I were talking one time at the pilot briefing, and the same thing. We said, hey, what if we get a kid to come up, a young balloonist, right? We get more kids involved in the sport and more families. Said, hey, Brad, why don't we have one of those kids help us? And now it's a tradition now that we're doing it. And thanks to Brad and the weather team for doing that, and for the Balloon Meister to give us a few minutes to let that happen.
Yeah, that's a great way to involve and introduce people to our sport, because you never know, that kid who can go to school the next day and say, hey, guess what? I got to raise the green flag yesterday, or I released the weather pie ball yesterday. They may be the pilots who are flying here in the next 50 years of this event. That's
right. We have those stories. You know that as well.
Sure.
Being a pilot, that sometimes you take a passenger, next thing you know, 2 years from now, all of a sudden they're the pilot taking somebody else for a ride.
Absolutely. Right? It's why we talk about this sport.
Absolutely. It's the most social family sport that I know. You get the crew involved, the friends of friends, and next thing you know, you have a giant party and a great social event.
So once again, Tom, where are the Globitos so people can go see them?
P9 through P11, they're out there setting up, and they already have some of them inflated, and it's a fun thing. One of the manufacturers let me fly one of those balloons. I had a fantastic time doing it. It was a fun thing to do with an RC balloon.
Actually, I think we just had them on. I think we just had a shot there as well. I can see them through. There's the Jesus balloon out there, and I see a little remote control.
Oh, yeah, right behind the Coronado Center balloon. I can see them now. There's a yellow one, and then there's one that's white with the rainbow verticals on it.
And if you could see farther to the left, you'd see one that's more green and purple.
I do see that one. Yep, absolutely. Yep. Okay, and if you don't know how to find row P and launch sites 9, et cetera, look at the little white pylons that are all down the field, and you'll notice each one has a number and a letter on it, and so you just look around and follow till you find row P, and then just move over to the west till you come to site number 9, and there they are.
What middle of the west side of the field in the middle?
Yeah.
Look in that area, and you'll see those little Globitos.
Yep, that's them there. P is a paved road out there as well, so if you're on one of those, that works as well. So Tom Bueno, Chief Safety Official for the Balloon Fiesta. Thanks for stopping by this morning.
Good to see you, Art.
Good to see you, Tom.
Glenn.
Thanks for coming up.
Thanks for coming by.
All right, awesome.
So go down and see the Globitos as they are beginning to put their show on as part of this morning's activities. Meanwhile, the Coronado Center balloon, where the birthplace of Balloon Fiesta, as it says on their banner, just getting airborne, and was talking a few minutes ago about Andrew Holly and his flyover state record, and now we see his fleet of balloons that are here. And matter of fact, they're just launching. There goes Puddles, 2, Splash, and Tall Steve, and then right beside them is Duma.
Bingo,
the cheetah. They are here from the great Sky Safari event at Longleat.
Bingo.
Yes, that Andrew runs over there, and the cheetah, by the way, named Duma, which is also its registration. Well, no, just wait. That's its registration number is G Duma, and the name, the word Duma is Swahili for cheetah. So Duma. Or as they say on Monday night on ESPN on SportsCenter, Doom, or whatever. Duma.
Got
anyway,
me.
Bingo. Okay,
not
enough
on
of that.
my TV.
Okay, well, enough of that. But Ruth Lynn is down with another guest.
Close to the remote control balloons. I mentioned that they are right by the Jesus balloon, and that's where Ruth is.
Glenn, I have been corrected. This is the Risen balloon, and I'm here with pilot Jeff Turner, who had the vision to create this balloon as a result of his lifelong faith. Jeff, tell me why a balloon and how it came about.
The main reason we did this is that sometimes Christians are thought of as dour or judgmental and not fun-loving people, and certainly that's not true.
I know it's not true. Jeff lives in Asheville, New York, and my husband and I lived in Asheville, New York. We actually flew together with Jeff and John Owens, another local pilot there. Jeff is not dour and sour at all. Jeff is a fun guy. Talk to me a little bit about the reception you've had to this balloon since it's been flying.
Well, certainly it's been mixed, but we've had a lovely welcome here in Albuquerque. People have been coming up to us and saying, thank you for coming. This is wonderful. We look forward to coming here again. The problem is we're from Western New York, a little expensive to get here, and so we'd like to have a sponsor down here if we could in future years. We'd love to come back.
Well, that's wonderful, Jeff. We look forward to seeing you, and I'm so happy that I finally got to see this balloon for real instead of just the pictures. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing time with us today.
Thanks for the interview. Nice to see you.
All right, thanks, Ruth. We continue to get some great shots from our Exxon mobile balloon as they have taken one of our cameras airborne. We get to see, in fact, that shot there is from the balloon, so we're right up there in the middle of all of the balloons. I'm also kind of watching the wind shift here change a little bit. Now, they were coming directly out of south. Now it's kind of moving more to the southeast, so they get a little bit of an east, and they still have the box up high. I mean, it's rolling east today, though, as opposed to rolling west is what it did yesterday. But we definitely have a box. We have a few more clouds in the sky. There's Smokey Bear. Beth Wright-Smith has Smokey Bear inflated. And the Xfinity balloon off to Smokey's side.
And to the north, that would be Sean Askren.
And then a little bit north of that is the Chick-fil-A balloon.
Yep, I can just make out a part of the logo here.
Yeah, we can't see it on the screen yet.
I know it well because it's one of my favorite places to stop while I'm here at Fiesta. It's just down the street from my hotel.
And there it is. And our good friend Craig Kennedy is flying Chick-fil-A for us this year.
Oh, my goodness. I had no idea Craig was here.
He is.
Good
He's
deal.
flying that balloon. I've chatted with him a couple times.
I remember how surprised I was one time when wrapping up one of our evening events and heading back to the hotel and wanting something to eat but light because it was late and then we had to get up early in the morning. And I went through Chick-fil-A and discovered they had chicken noodle soup, and it was the most amazing discovery. And that's become kind of a regular, just like going to a Taco Cabana and getting the first night here and getting a big old thing of pozole. You know, you got to get into the whole foodie thing as soon as you arrive here, you know, and then you get into the green chili and the red chili stew and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A has great stuff on their menu. I tend to get into the rut and get the same chicken spicy deluxe sandwich every time.
Yeah.
But, love going to Chick-fil-A.
I like the nuggets because theirs are real. They're not, parts is parts kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But discovering that they had chicken soup was a great treat for a nighttime treat. There's John Davis down below. Hello, John.
Hey, he was paying attention.
You're listening. See, Paul Smith walked right by there and never heard a word we said when we talked about him, but you're a top-notch guy. I'd recognize thank you. I'd recognize that mustache anywhere.
I think it's getting longer, though.
I think it is, yeah.
So.
No, I'm not going to go there.
Don't.
I was going to say, John and I both are getting a little long in the tooth. Maybe that's what's getting longer, but I'm not going to go there. I'm only kidding, John. It's just a joke.
John was the designated pilot examiner. We've talked about Ray Bear being that. John was the designated pilot examiner when I got my check ride and got my flight certificate, my pilot certificate.
Well, I will always hold a deep debt of gratitude to John years and years ago here at Balloon Fiesta. I've told this story before. I was kind of on the outside looking in at the Balloon Federation of America, and John was a great supporter of the organization, and he and his lovely late partner Carol Reimer Davis pulled me aside here at Fiesta one year and kind of took me out to the barnyard and had a little chat, slapped me upside the head, had a little chat, and they said, you can either be a part of the problem or you can be a part of the solution. And they turned me around, and I got very involved. I've been editor I served on the board of directors of the Balloon Federation. I've been editor of their publication now. I'm wrapping up my 21st year and hoping they're going to renew my contract for another year or two so I can continue in that role. But it was John and Carol who absolutely turned my ballooning career around at that point. And I will always, always have a deep debt of gratitude for them taking the time and caring enough about me to have that conversation.
There you go.
Billy,
right, folks.
Billy
There
is inflated. Billy, we're talking about Billy Broker, and he is the pilot of the City of Plano balloon. That's who Keith Berry's coming down to help out. We've been talking about our friend Keith, who's on his way here, and
keep your eyes on the road, Keith.
Yeah, Billy got that nickname, I guess, when the beer commercial came out, and suddenly he became Billy, and so we all fondly refer to Billy that way now. Bill Broker.
Nice bright green and orange neon going over us.
Right overhead.
Yep, that's Glen Word from Anthony, New Mexico.
Bill Broker was just a kid when I was involved with the Plano Balloon Festival, and he got started in ballooning, and he literally has grown up in this sport, turned into quite the exceptional commercial pilot, and just an all-around nice guy. Another one of those people who's very actively involved in helping out the Balloon Federation of America.
So looking at here's a great example, our shot here of the full-size regular balloons, and then those little guys, those globitos.
Yeah.
And our great reporter, Ruth Lind, is down there with our globitos folks. Ruth?
Yes, good morning. I'm here with Scott Lopez. He's keeping an eye on his globito up there and also looking down at his remote unit that he has. Scott, how long have you been flying globitos?
About a year now.
Where do you find one of these?
So there's a couple manufacturers here in Albuquerque and out of El Paso that build these balloons.
And do they build it to spec? Does this look like the regular size balloon that you fly?
Yeah, these are about a quarter scale, and they operate just like a real balloon.
And does your other balloon look like this?
I actually don't have another balloon. This is my only balloon.
You are a globito pilot.
That's correct. Yes.
How much fun is it?
It's a blast.
Do you ever fly it off a tether?
No, we don't do that here because we don't have enough open space to do that. But we hope to start doing that here in Albuquerque at the Balloon Fiesta grounds as we get more experience with the balloons.
Well, that sounds like fun. I can tell you're pretty busy keeping track of this little aircraft here, so we'll let you go, but thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
You too.
I had an opportunity. Thanks, Ruth.
Thank
you,
Ruth.
Opportunity to fly a remote control balloon a couple of times. My friends Barbara Fricke and Peter Cuneo have one, and we did some demonstration flights out here, and I got an opportunity to fly that. There seems to be a little more having to pay attention on the remote control than flying a real balloon. Yet, not that you don't pay attention there, but you're certainly burning more often, and it's just maybe it's just because it was new and trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
But flying a remote, while it all works the same, it certainly was a different experience than flying a full-size balloon.
Dina Lee says is asking Santa for a globito for Christmas. Someone else was asking, is the Red Devil okay? And yes, that balloon is fine. That balloon was one that was involved in a minor power line accident earlier this week. But everyone walked away fine, and the balloon is also fine. It's actually been certified as airworthy and cleared to fly again. We had a visit with the folks that were in the balloon when that happened. They were up here on the tower with us just yesterday, and so tremendously grateful that everybody is fine, and the balloon is okay as well. So for those people asking in our Facebook chat room.
So
yes,
we talked about they don't put passengers in the Globito's baskets.
Yes.
But Mickey was getting a ride in one of those Globitos baskets right
there. Yeah. See, I
can
can't.
tell. Yeah, you can.
I can hardly see the monitor anymore because of the sunlight.
The sun's about to hit you. But yeah, there was a shot of the basket there, and you could tell because the banners on the side of the baskets are different than the banners on our real-size balloons.
I see. Okay. Well, and I told you someone had posted on Facebook, I think. Maybe they sent it to me at the magazine. I have to look, but there was a picture of a Globitos basket with a little toddler in it, talking about you can never start people out ballooning too young, and I thought that was pretty nice. That was pretty cool.
See the basket banner there? It says Fiesta on it. Doesn't have a number on it. Yeah. So that's one of the Globitos baskets, and there's that's Goofy. They have Goofy in the little basket.
Cool. There's Jeff Ashworthy in the New Mexico tartan balloon. Bingo. I still have not. I've got to remember to look up. The problem is I put away my iPad when we get finished here in the morning, and then I don't pay attention to it at the hotel because they have the Gaelic pronunciation of the balloon name in our spotting chart, but I haven't yet figured out the proper pronunciation. And while I can speak a few words of Gaelic, I don't want to murder that. So,
ARNA SPIROC.
Arna-Spreo, I think it's Arna-Spreo, I think. Might be but yeah, I'll either catch up with Jeff or eventually I'll get around to hopefully looking it up and getting a pronunciation online. But I think that's Arna-Spreo. That CH is like when you, is kind of that sound like
okay,
and loch instead of lock.
There's the moo cow balloon, the creamland balloon in the air. We just saw on our screen.
That's the moo crew balloon.
Moo crew.
Yeah, the little round balloon. Yep. Billy with City of Plano still standing up. Here is the Realty One balloon getting airborne. Teal balloon with the orange spires and white diamond tips on the side.
Jaybird Mason flying that.
I can see clearly the Chick-fil-A balloon now. Some of the other balloons have cleared out down along Main Street, bright red with the Chick-fil-A logo on the side. Just trying to look through some of these balloons in front of us to see a little bit more of who's down along the north end of the field.
Good morning, Jay. We just talked about you, Realty One. Our new PA system out here means the balloon pilots can hear us this year. So when we talk about them, now they know what we're saying.
A lot of times we're shouting out to some of the pilots as they fly by, and they have no idea that we're talking about them. Now we have to be careful because they can hear us. We can't tell all the stories that we used to.
Ray Bear was interested in hearing all of the comments. So we talked about him a lot as he came over the target yesterday. Saw him yesterday afternoon, and he was almost embarrassed by all the things we were saying about him, he said. But they were all good things and all well-deserved as well. So happy to say those things about Mr. Ray Bear and all the other great pilots we have here as well. So we continue to work through the second wave here. Kind of a nice leisurely pace getting through on this Flight of the Nations Wednesday here at Balloon Fiesta Park and the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. And there's a shot back at the field from our ExxonMobil camera. Our second ExxonMobil balloon is standing up here on the field. This would be John Bolger.
We often have a lot of friends and surprise guests pop up on the rooftop to see us and say hello, and we've got one of those who's arrived with us now. I thought we'd take a moment to chat with him. And I'm sorry, you're going to have to remind me your last name because I'm not good at foreign names. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, you got to tell the truck we're doing it.
Forgot we have to tell the production team that we're using that microphone, and they get things turned on.
We have so many sources, they have to keep repatching things to be able to bring them up.
Plug and unplug. Remember in the old TV shows, you'd see an operator sitting at this big board, and she'd pull out this plug and stick it in this plug.
Kind of like the old telephone operators.
That's what I'm referring to, yeah. And so our team is downstairs kind of doing a little bit of that.
Electronic buttons, but yeah.
Okay, I think we've got, say one or two words real quick. Just give me a.
1, 2.
Yep, 1, 2. There we go. That's 2 words, 1, 2. Anyway, joining us is Jorg, and again, your last name
is Ewald.
Yes, thank you. And I apologize. We've emailed many times back and forth, but I'm not good with foreign names. Jorg you are what, like managing director of Flytech? Would that be the proper way of saying that?
That's correct. The company that builds the Flytech Varios, I'm the managing director.
Okay, and he has been here all week long because all of these balloons fly with a set of instruments. We talk about the altimeter, the variometer, which tells us how fast we're going up and down. The altitude tells us, the altimeter rather tells us how high we are or how low. And of course then we have the variometer for our up and down speed, and the pyrometer for the temperature, and nowadays flight instruments have built-in GPSs. When I started flying, we didn't have GPSs. Then they became an add-on sort of handheld that you would stick in the basket with you that was separate from your major balloon instrument. Now it's all kind of evolving into one, and there's flight timers and flight path recorders and all sorts of things that didn't exist when I first started flying. Flytech is one of probably the 2 most popular instruments used by balloonists now. So you're here from Germany.
Switzerland.
Gosh.
Almost.
You got it all together.
One over.
One over.
You almost got it.
Why do I even bother? From Switzerland, yeah, I knew that. And so anyway, let me let you talk, and I'll quit making faux pas up here. You've been here all week. You're promoting the Flytech instrument. So what's new with Flytech, and is this your first experience at Fiesta?
Actually, it's my second. I was here in
Okay.
2019.
See, there I go again.
Completely overwhelmed, and that's why I wanted to come back here. And that's why I convinced everybody else that we donate a few Flytech Balloon 4s of our current instrument. That basically paved my way into here, coming back here.
And so what kind of interaction have you had with pilots talking with you about the instrument, those that are using it here and those that maybe are interested in adding one into their balloon?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, most of them, they come to me and they tell me, like, they're flying with the 3040, which is an instrument that was designed in 1991, and people still love it. And that's just amazing to me. I mean, which other electronic piece of equipment do you use that was designed in 91 and you're still using and loving it? So, yeah.
It's like having an iPhone 5 and saying, oh, wow, I love my phone.
Yeah, even more. But unfortunately, we cannot build that anymore. There are components in there that are no longer available. So that's why we decided to build a new one, design a new Vario. That's the Flytech Balloon 4, and that's the one we brought here.
And so what's new about it? What has evolved in the years since that first one was built in 91?
Well, it's 30 years of technology.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, it's the main thing is the GPS. So we can track you right away. We can tell you also not only how fast you go up and down, but also how fast you move over the ground. Basically, what is the wind doing? In which direction is it pushing me, and how fast? And then we record your flight, and after the flight you can look at it in Google Earth. You see it in 3D with all the interesting points like highest altitude, highest rate of climb, and all that marked.
And so you're spending each day here at Balloon Fiesta, and I think you're kind of visiting each day. Again, I'm probably going to make a faux pas here, but I believe, as we discussed earlier, each day you're spending time in a different one of the manufacturer tents.
They are also so nice to invite me over to their booths. So and to not offend anyone, I go just from one to the other. So today I'm with Ultramagic, tomorrow I'll be with Kubitschek, and then back to Cameron, and then Lindstrand.
And so now,
all the way around.
Are you in that Flytech outfit so that you're easy to find every day? Is that like your official uniform?
Yeah, that's my early morning outfit when it's a little colder, and later on it's a T-shirt, so people can find me when they want to drop off their flyers, because, as I said, we raffle off one of those units, and people need to fill in the flyer they received in their welcoming package, and then come find me. And on Saturday, during the prize giving, we will raffle it off.
Okay. Well, Art and I, of course, will be hosting that, so we'll be helping to give away that instrument.
Can we stuff Can we stuff the ballot box?
Yeah. Can we?
Interesting.
Interesting.
Like half the people who give me the flyer actually ask for something along those lines.
Can I have another?
Can I give you 3 or 4?
Please, sir. Can I have some more? Yeah. Well, Jorg, thank you for coming by and saying hello. Thank you for putting up with my faux pas here, and my apologies.
No worries.
If you'd like to move to Germany, I know some folks there. I can probably help you set up. And so which tent are you in today? Where can people find you when you're done from here?
Well, I'm going to be at the Ultramagic tent today.
Ultramagic today.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So if you're interested in the Flytech instrument, any of the pilots that are down there and want to find out more about it, Jörg will be at the Ultra Magic tent today, and then as you said, we'll be raffling off one of those brand new Flytech instruments during the prize giving, the award ceremony on Saturday afternoon. Thank you again for coming up, and it's good to say hello in person now that we've been emailing for several months back and forth.
Sure, it was great.
Take care. Thank you for coming up.
Thanks for coming up. What a great deal to be a pilot and go home with a brand new Flytech piece of instrumentation. As we've said, all of our balloons have to have an altimeter, a variometer, and a pyrometer. Those are 3 required instruments. The 4th would be a fuel gauge. Those tend to be on the tanks. And then some manufacturers require some others like pressure, etc. But everybody has to have at least those 3, and to have them all in one convenient instrument package called a Flytech. That's one of the brands that's out there that does that. And now, of course, we've added GPS to it as well. Is that Ted Mays I see on our camera? Whoops, back up. He was right there. There's Ted Mays right there. Thank you, Ted. We are sending you love today, man. Okay. Ted Mays, you may remember, put a lot of zoom camera up for us during Balloon Fiesta Siesta.
Yes.
And in 2019, he stepped in for Tristan to be able to fly the balloon for us when Tristan had to step away due to a little medical issue.
That's right. That's right. There we go. Yeah, I think we had some nat sound feedback through our remote unit there for a minute. Got awfully loud.
Okay, so we just saw the Moo Crew balloon. I'm guessing that was from Balloon Camp because I don't see the Moo Crew out here. Yep, okay.
We've also got some cloud that has moved in high overhead. It's very high because the balloons are still below the clouds and up high this morning. But our clear blue sky that was over us has now seemingly moved further north, or at least this one. It's almost like being at the top side of a bowl, and the bottom of the bowl is now above us. But as you look out to the west, there's still clear blue sky out there. So I think this is just a band that's moving through. Probably last remnants of that system that moved through this morning. And it's clear up above the Sandias as well. So not that it's not a problem. I was just noting that all of a sudden I looked up and I didn't see clear blue sky anymore.
Yeah, I've been kind of watching it move through, but we saw the radar earlier this morning, and it was really long, stretched out, but really patchy.
Yeah.
Really patchy stuff. So
and that all has moved well past us. We showed you that on the radar earlier.
Yeah.
This is just some auxiliary or ancillary cloud that has moved in above us, but as we say, we still see clear blue sky all around, and so it probably is just the last remnants of that system moving through, because we certainly don't expect any, we expect really Chamber of Commerce weather again by the time we're here tomorrow morning.
Bright blue skies, visit Albuquerque.
Blue skies.
Nothing but blue skies up above.
Yeah. Or do
we're gonna have to pay royalties on that now?
Yeah.
Get kicked off of Facebook for
copyright
violation.
Copyright violation, yeah. Who did that originally? My favorite version of that is one by Willie Nelson.
There's a great view inside the top of a balloon deflating, and you can see the parachute top we've talked about multiple times. And so you see the big opening at the top of the balloon, the parachute been pulled down inside the balloon so that the hot air can't come out the top. So that's the piece of fabric, that parachute top, that gets held in by Velcro when you're laying down. As you stand things up, as you want to bring the balloon down, you pull the top down inside the balloon, the hot air comes out that big opening, and the balloon deflates.
I think we're going to have to name Dina Lee our Balloon Fiesta Live comedian. She just commented and says, love it when Glart, G-L-A-R-T, Glart does duets. Dina, I think you're the only one who enjoys that. So, but she's been quite the comedian on here. She's the one who's asking for a Globitos for Christmas, and has had several other rather witty comments today. So, Dina, we're loving your contribution to our Facebook page group.
Just a moment ago, I saw from our balloon cam, which is on the ground down in Vista del Norte, which is a little area south of the Balloon Fiesta Park here, that when we fly from here, it's a nice area to be able to drop in and land down there. The city just managed to grass the rest of that area, so it's now a nice park to land in.
Oh, really?
And so balloon crews coming down in the Vista del Norte area just south of us here. There used to be an area that we could land in many, many years ago. It was called the Renaissance area.
Yes.
It is now built up with Costco, and there's a Sam's Club, and there's all kinds of warehouse shopping there. Not really any place to land in there anymore. So now we kind of have to land a little short of that in this park that was going to be developed. And a number of years ago, the city and a bunch of other folks stepped up and stopped that from being developed, and it got instead turned into a park. And it is a great place for us to land. And the mayor, who was up here the other day, talked about how, just like on Thursday, they unveiled the rest of the grassing of that field.
Ah, cool. Yeah, Renaissance was the landing site of place back in the 90s when I was flying here. I can remember it vividly because it was this big, beautiful area of big grass fields, and yet it had paved and curbed streets.
Yes.
So great access for the chase crew, and then you had these
great place to
big
land.
flat green grass fields that you could land the balloon in. So Renaissance was, and it was directly south of the field, so it was perfectly in the flight path. Even if there was a box, you could box past the field and then fly back out to Renaissance again and land. It was a very popular landing site back in the day.
And it's basically right on the edge of the Albuquerque Airport airspace that we have to start talking to the tower.
Right,
which
was
special
why
equipment,
we
things
would
like
typically
that.
land when
It
we
was
got
a perfect
there
place,
because
yeah.
you wanted to land.
You didn't want to go any farther.
Yep, you wanted to land before you got into the airport's airspace, and it was just perfect. It was an ideal landing site for a number of years. Used it many, many times. Hey, I think I see Little Guilty out there amongst the Globitos.
Yes, you do.
We saw the big balloon earlier. Karen and Zarek Wells' balloon, Guilty, the yellow one with that handlebar mustache, and now Little Guilty. Their Globitos replica.
And you
is
see the
down
other
there in the
yellow
group.
one. Well, there's actually three in there. There's the one that is the Fiesta balloon.
There's one almost at each end of the one at each end of the show, and then Little Guilty in the center.
Depending on the angle, because looking at the screen, Little Guilty is on the left, Fiesta is in the middle, and the Zia is on the right.
Well,
so depending on
yeah.
the angle you're looking at it,
Yeah,
yes.
because as I see it here, looking at it in real life, the Zia is on my right, the
so that
far
must have
east.
must have been the north camera was giving us that shot.
Fiesta is on the left, which would be the west, and then Little Guilty is in the middle there.
See, and I can't see the Zia from my viewpoint here. But yes, they are all out there. A great opportunity to go check out the Globitos.
You know, I'm like Dina now. I'm wanting a Globitos. I live on a little I can't a pair of pants. I can't a pair of pants. I'm building a balloon. There are folks who can build them. And I'm thinking maybe I'd like to go back and recreate my first balloon Yellow Rose bingo. As a Globitos.
But I already said Yellow Rose.
I did.
Earlier today.
But first balloon is also a bingo, so there you go. But I live on a 3,000.
I was waiting for the other one to come back.
Which other one?
Your second balloon.
My second balloon was Lonesome Dove.
Which one was Coyote Moon?
Coyote Moon was my third.
Third, sorry.
Yeah.
See, they were already trying to get us to say that over here on our YouTube feed.
Okay, and then Coyote Rising was the fourth, so and the last. So there you go. But anyway, yeah, I live on a 3,000-foot private grass strip airport, little air park. There's about a half dozen of us with homes on that little runway, and it'd be the perfect place to fly.
It would be.
A little Globitos.
You could even do it off the tether so that you can chase it down the runway.
Well, and the nice thing is I have a deck on the back of my house that's parallel to the runway, so I could literally just stand the balloon up and then go back and sit on the deck and fly my balloon with a cold adult beverage and.
And if you tethered it, you could just kind of bring it back in.
Although I'm not sure if you're a Globitos pilot, does the same 8-hour rule, 8-hour bottle of throttle kind of thing, apply to a Globitos pilot?
Well, currently, right now, there are no regulations.
Well, then that's the ticket. But yeah, it would be the perfect location, and it's this great, beautiful little grass strip airport surrounded by huge, tall pine trees, so it would be the perfect place to maybe even mount a camera and have like a little Globitos drone, if you will.
So we're starting to see balloons come back into the field. We talked about the box. I thought I had seen a couple earlier, but now I'm seeing Infinitude landing out on the far north end. Sol Air is dropping back in. Big Sky is dropping back in.
Ken Drawn landed back there, and I was about to go there when you started talking about Globitos, and that sent me off on a whole different tangent. But I did see Ken Drawn land back at the north end of the field. He certainly boxed it. And, yeah, here comes Sean Rea descending now in the Sol Air balloon, as you were just saying. Johnny Petrin in the Big Sky balloon. Further out there is, well, there's one of the Hartzells, and there is Steve Jones. Looks like maybe they're coming down from that cloud layer to land here on the field.
Practicing their competition skills.
Yeah.
Can I get back to the field?
Using that box to come round and round and make those multiple passes on targets when we resume competition tomorrow and Friday.
A while ago, I said things had shifted to the east. Now I see them shifting back to the west
Back to
again.
the west, yeah.
So lots of changing conditions. Very subtle changes.
And that may have to do with that cloud layer that's up there that may have shifted the wind just a bit, the upper level winds.
Still a lot of very slow. I'm looking up high.
Tall Steve is way up there.
As is Duma, Civil Air Patrol.
Bingo. Wait, if you say it, does it count as bingo, or is
on
it just
my
if
card,
I say it?
On my card.
On your card, it does? It counts?
I see stars and stripes up there. That's Blair Kaufman, although he told me yesterday he was trying to tell me Tom Schroeder was going to fly it yesterday and today.
There's either Puddles or Splash. I can't tell which, but it's one of the two original penguins, separate from Tall Steve.
Yeah, that far out.
yeah, you can't. I mean, the only way you can really tell the two apart is by the color of the scoop. One is red, one is blue. You know, red for boy.
And the eyelashes.
Yeah, and yes, and the eyelashes. But I didn't bring my
Those
binoculars.
are even smaller, yes, than the
colors.
colors.
I didn't bring my binoculars up this morning. Our PA, Greg, asked, he said, "Do you want me to grab your binoculars?" And I said, "No, I don't need them today." And now if I had them, maybe I could tell. So either Puddles or Splash. Well, actually, they're both still up there because if you look, one of them has its back turned to us. It's in this little group of balloons kind of just on the center eastern group. I can see the little penguin shape, but its back is turned to us. The other one was looking at us, though it's turning now too. So Puddles 2 and Splash are both up there. Tall Steve is up much higher, however. So, yeah, they're among
Let me see if I can catch it.
And as we speak, you break out your binoculars. You smart guy. That's the reason why you are the executive producer and I'm just the hired talent. Steve Jones now making his way back in and will be landing on the field here in just a moment. The bright yellow topped balloon with the orange checkerboard bottom third of the balloon. As we've talked earlier, Steve out of Belton, Texas. I think Steve is still living down there in Central Texas. Pretty sure he is. The RPS balloon has been standing up right there beside Billy in the Plano balloon for a while now. Beth Wright Smith still has Smokey Bear. We're coming up to just the final couple of minutes of our broadcast today. Going to be about time for us to sign off. There goes the Tartan balloon, bingo, of Jeff Ashworthy. They are deflating now. These other pilots, I expect, will probably be bringing balloons down soon as the event is pretty well winding to an end for this morning. Again,
so the one with the back to us is the blue skirt.
Okay.
The one that was looking at us is the red skirt.
So red is for girls, or pink is for girls, and blue is for boys. So Splash is, oh gosh, I can't even remember now which is which. I get so confused. Andrew Holly, where are you when we need you, man? He keeps all that stuff straight for us.
Puddles is blue.
Puddles is blue, okay.
Puddles is blue.
So Puddles is the boy and Splash
is the girl. And Tall Steve is the kid.
Is the baby chick.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. And Duma is the cheetah.
Steve Jones bringing the balloon right there on the field.
Yeah.
Just as we see Smokey deflate. And there's the parachute top in the top of Smokey's hat.
Right, in the top of his campaign hat. That's called a campaign hat, by the way. That style of hat that the Marine Corps actually made pretty famous back in the WW2 days, I believe. So let's look ahead for a moment to tomorrow and the coming weekend as we're about to wrap up and say goodbye this morning. Tomorrow, of course, we go back to two-a-days. We have, and tomorrow begins our Special Shapes Rodeo Glodio days. We'll begin with Special Shapes tomorrow morning, inflating here on the launch field. Some will fly, many will stay static displayed. And then we continue with competition. After we launch our shapes, we'll then flag the field again and open the field for all of the other balloons to come flying in, the competitors, to continue with our overall competition. Then tomorrow evening, we have the first of our shapes-only Glodios. And of course, we'll have Team Fast Tracks back out doing their skydive, bringing in 5,000 square feet of freedom, the giant American flag. Now, they jump at 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, and we will not be on the air live. We'll tape record it, we'll video it, and then we will show it tape delay when we sign on at 6 p.m. Friday, we do the same thing, another repeat, a rodeo, special shapes rodeo in the morning, a Glodio that evening. And then Saturday and Sunday, Saturday's Mass Ascension. We have our Night Magic Glow on Saturday night, Sunday our Farewell Ascension. So hard to believe we're already talking about the end of the event.
It is. Don't forget, tomorrow morning is also Kids Day, sponsored by
That's
KOB
right.
TV. Lots of great goodies for the kids, so it's a great day to come on out to the Balloon Fiesta for all the special shapes action. We've got everything going on Thursday and Friday because all the special shapes are here, all the competition is going on.
It's like we build to this big climax, so that big moment is coming.
It's here. All starts tomorrow morning. So it is time for us to say goodbye until tomorrow morning. It turned out to be a very nice,
surprisingly
enjoyable
beautiful day
today.
Indeed, yeah.
So thanks for tuning in. Again, we'll see you again tomorrow morning. I'm Art Lloyd Jr.
I'm Glen Moyer.
This is Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Don't forget, you can watch all the shows archived on balloonfiesta.com.
See you tomorrow, folks.
Bye-bye.
You've been watching Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. Always in October and always in Albuquerque. The Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta is the world's premier ballooning event. Make plans now to join us in person in 2022 for the Big 5-0, the 50th Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Thanks for watching Balloon Fiesta Live. This program is a production of AIBF Inc.